Something like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show. Weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is. And you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've even seen people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out, share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this. And it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text on one's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, we are back for another great episode. We are back to our series, What If? Some thought experiments that we do from time to time over here at the Roger Report Live. And today's thought experiment should turn out to be another interesting one. Today we're going to do what if. The what if is women don't have to work at all. Okay, y'all, that's what we're going to deal with. Women don't have to work at all. Yes, we're talking about taking an entire American society and we're going to transform it into a place that women just don't work. Okay, well, they just ain't got to, man. We're going to figure out how to get this thing transition and see if it would be any good for any of us, okay? Any good for any of us. You know, let's see what we can do with it. But before we get going too far, y'all, first of all, I got to say shout out to all the people who give me views on a regular basis, because y'all make up the fam over here at the Roger Report Live, and I appreciate you big time. Shout out to all the people who leave comments after the stream. Okay, shout out to all the people who leave comments at the stream. I appreciate y'all doing that. I've been seeing it pick up a little bit. I definitely appreciate y'all doing that. And shout out to all the people who hit that like button and the folks who hype me up every chance they get. This is all good for the algorithm. It helps to spread the channel. Now, I am going to say this, y'all, because I have seen comments, and this happens after a while. there are people who will come in and they'll make a comment as if they're responding to the title of a show, and they gave me no indication that they even watched the stream. Don't expect to get the best responses if you come off as if you didn't see the show at all. Okay, because I'm gonna let you know the comment section is really designed for people who actually watch something. If you ain't heard nothing, you ain't saw nothing, stop. Don't look for the best responses. Now, of course, y'all listen to the show. Y'all should be all right, but I want to know how it goes down just in case you happen to do it. If it seems like you ain't watched nothing, I'm going to respond as if you're a person that didn't see nothing, okay? So that's how that's going to go. All right? Now, shout out to, y'all know how I go around here. I love it when I start a show and I see some new people in. I see people, gearing up for the stream already, but y'all know there can only be one. So shout out to what we like to call around here the Highlander of today's stream, which everyone should do from time to time. Get your Highlander in. And it's back to being my main man, Trail Bentley. He is representing as the Highlander of today's stream. And he represents all the time. Hashtag lonely, the habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Hail Hydra. Shout out to you, bro. Oh, I skipped over. Did I skip over hashtag Al Gore's babies? And them Al Gore babies might get in this stream a little bit. Shout out to my main man, Shark Sims, man. It was good to see you, brother. Good to see you. That's an interesting response, my brother. Shout out to my main man, Chef Mike's Roundtable. Glad to see you here. The Pit Master is in the building. Salute to Chef Mike's Roundtable and the whole pit crew. Shout out to my main man. We got I'm Listening is in the house. Great to see you. Great to see you. We got Night Sometimes in the building as well. My main man, Red Pill Sleeper Cell is here. What's going on, my brother? Shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast. My man, Floyd Thompson is here. Yay, yay. Salute, Tunnel Runner. What's happening, my brother? What's happening? Shout out to the Righteous Teacher. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Let's dive on into this interesting concept, y'all. Now, we gonna transition this American society over to a society where women don't work at all. And we just gonna see how it kind of rolls out. Shout out to the Great Black Reset. Let's see if we can do this, y'all. Can we do this safely? Can we do this efficiently? Can we make the society better? Because I'm laughing at Shark and Chef Mike. Y'all, I see y'all got something going on. Y'all, I mean, it's just a thought idea, but I thought it was a good thought experiment because of what we can see going on here in America. I mean, we got women who are having children without being part of a family. Let's keep it real, y'all. We're having women who are having children without being part of a family. Okay? You just got hoes out here with kids. Some of them you might want to say they women with kids. Some of them you may want to say sex worker with kids. However you want to label them. But you got these females out here, they just got kids, no family. All right? So that's where we going. It is what it is. All right? And even though they've had a lot of these children without being married to a man, they don't, for some reason, they don't seem to feel any responsibility to actually getting their children taken care of. A large amount of them do. Now, it's some of them that will want to, do something for their kids so they can brag and say, look what I did. There's some of them, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. You should be proud of what you did for your child. I am not saying anything is wrong with that. But let's keep it real, y'all. A lot of these mothers who were not married don't really care that much about the kid, and they're only going to do what they believe is necessary to have a decent image. And I told y'all time and time again, Black women care more about their image than anything else. And it ain't like these things ain't spreading over into white society and other societies as well. So in America, y'all know women can work if they want to. they can go get a job. They can. Well, after you hit 18 and you complete high school, we got choices, and women can make the same choices men can make. Meaning, we all can go get a job if we want to. We can start a business if we want to. We can go to some form of college or trade school to improve our education. Hopefully make us more valuable to the job market. Make some more money. Or we can go to the military. We have those options. But women can also find a guy to marry where they're going to be just taken care of right out the gate. They ain't got to even worry about anything beyond high school. But there's a lot of women who like to go to college. And there's a lot of black women who like to go to college just to be in position to say, I ain't got to listen to no man. Okay? It's funny how they shock that men don't want them, even though they literally live their life to prepare to not listen to one. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? But that's beside the point. That's beside the point. So we got women, all type of different socioeconomic situations going on. Well, you got the poor of the poor. They just gonna have kids and don't really care about them kids. You even got some women who are doing a little bit better. They got jobs and whatnot. They may not even be dependent upon the state at all. They don't want to take care of their kids neither. I have said time and time again, if a lawyer, I don't care how great a lawyer you get, if a lawyer had to go to a courtroom and be against some mid lawyers, you can have a bunch of mid lawyers. He could be the greatest lawyer the world has ever seen. But if he got to go against a mid-level lawyer, and he the greatest lawyer that done walked through a set of courtroom, if he had to prove that black women love their children, he'd be in trouble. He'd be in trouble. And, there's other folks copying this. There's other groups of women who are copying what black women do, and they want to have children without families too. So if it's pressure to be a part of a family, okay, some women call it oppression. Some women say it's slavery. You hear all kinds of stuff when you listen to women talk about being part of a family. And a lot of them are getting this idea that I don't need to be part of a family. Just let me get the kid. Now I had a kid on my own. So let's think about this, y'all. How can we draw this out? Okay, how can we draw this out and see what this would kind of look like? All right. Let's say we set a new rule. We set a new rule, y'all. Now, I'm not saying you got to get fired. Not saying that at all. We're not going to make it where anybody just got to get fired. Because there's men out there and there's women out there. So how about we set a rule? Now, what would it look like if we gave women the option to say, you ain't never got to work. You graduate high school or you get your GED, whichever, same thing. Okay. You're 18 years old and you have your high school diploma or your GED completed. Okay. Now, you make them at least get that so we can say they're able to basically function as a human adult. Okay. Now, they can go into the job market if they want to. They can go to college if they want to. They can do different things like that. Okay. They can go to the military if they want to. They still can find some men to marry if they want to. Of course, that option is going to be on the table for them, especially the more attractive they are, the more that option is there. But we also give them an option of never entering the workforce. And instead of doing the things that are available to them now, no process. They're just a female. They're an adult functioning female who can live on their own. We're not talking about people with mental issues or something like that. We're talking about regular, normal adult women. But they're 18. They got their diploma or their GED. They come in, they show the little paperwork, and then we put them on an allowance. Okay? Now, I thought about what kind of allowance should we give women who just simply decide to take the option of not working at all? Now, I'm not saying this has to be a hard number, but I was just thinking about it. What if we just gave them simply $500 a week? Okay, $500 a week cash. Okay, well, it ain't gonna really be cash because we just gonna send it to the bank account. But you got $500 a week cash, right? Do whatever you want to do with this money. This your money. Do your thing. Now, we not gonna worry about other stuff. Now, I think because we're offering them a society where they do not have to work, the government will take care of their medical expenses. All right? Because what good is a person if they ain't healthy? So the government take care of medical expenses. As long as you can live on your own and function as a normal human being, $500 a week, medical expenses are taken care of. All you gotta do is just go to the hospital. You give me I would assume this would be like a Medicaid card, and you straight. So now she healthy, okay, and she got $500 a week. She good. Now, where does she live? Well, I mean, there's plenty of places you can go making $500 a week. You can a lot of neighborhoods you can live in if you make $500 a week. So you pick your place. Ain't gonna be getting on no other subsidies. That's out the window. Because we don't need to give you WIC and we don't need to do all this extra stuff. If we already give you a Medicaid card so your health will be taken care of, and then we give you $500 a week, you should be able to operate in society at that point. You're not a taxpayer at all, except you buying something at a store and tax on that. But outside that, you ain't paying no taxes. You just boom, $500K every Monday. Okay, you wake up, boom, $500 cash, right? And why Monday? Because a lot of jobs don't pay on Monday. We don't even want stuff getting too clogged up. Men getting paid on Fridays. A lot of paydays on Fridays. Now, I've worked a lot of jobs, so I've been paid on a Wednesday, I've been paid on a Thursday, and I've been paid on a Friday. Okay? Okay. So, we'll get a little separation. Let the women get theirs on Monday. We as men, we'll be at work anyway. And they'll just get this. Now, 2,000 give you options. Well, it's about 2,000 a month. You estimate 4 weeks in a month. You got some options on your hand. Now, you can live anywhere you want in the country. Every woman getting the same $500 per week if they choose to get on the program and not work. Now, we're not going to say a woman can't get a job. We're not going to say she can't get a job. If she wants to get a job, well, and I guess as we discuss this, I'll let some of y'all somewhat figure out how we play the rules on this. Because do we want to say that women cannot work? Maybe some I want to work so much, they want to go to work anyway. Okay? Maybe they want to go to work anyway. Now, if we tell the women who already got jobs, you know what? Since this program was not in place when you had your 18th birthday, if you choose to get on this program, you can leave your job and get this. What you will not be able to do is have a job and be on this program at the same time. Okay? That's what you can't do. You can't have a job and be on the program at the same time. Now, you sign up for the program, you good. You stay on this program till you die, if that's what you want to do. Now, there would be somebody who wants to work. So I think it would be fair to say, if you get off the program, you're off for the rest of your life. If you want to go back into the workforce as a woman, that's on you. But you can only get on this program one time. Okay? One time. That's it. What you want to do? Okay? If you give it up, you didn't gave it up. Because why would somebody give up the program and they ain't got to work? You're getting $500 a week, everything's smooth. Now, us as men, we gonna continue to do our jobs, yo. We gonna continue to work. Now, you also have a job market where, because somebody gonna walk away from their job. Once you offer them a program where they can get $500 a week, they can go live wherever they want to live. It's gonna be some folks that walk off that job. Okay. Again, y'all, ain't gonna be no welfare system for the women who take this. We moving people off welfare. You know, if you leave some other program, you ain't getting back on them programs. That's over with. So women can now just get $500 a week and never work. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? So what do y'all think is gonna start happening? The young ladies who go to school, remember, you got to get your high school education taken care of. You got to come in with that GED, or you got to get that high school diploma, because we got to say you are able to function as a basic human adult. All right, and you good. Men, boom, we out there in the workforce. Somebody got to work. That's on us. It's always been on us. Truth be told, it's always going to be on us. All right. I know some people think it's maybe in some far off distant future, somehow men ain't gonna have to work. No, man, no. We're gonna be working till Jesus come back, I'm sure. Okay. We're gonna be working till Jesus come back. You know. Shout out to the Great Black Reset. He said, why is Roger trying to give away free money to these women? He trying to save them again. Am I? Hey, brother, why are we voting for anybody who gives free money to women? Because I ain't never voted for them people. Okay, well, technically, y'all got me on Obama the first time. They got me there, okay? Other than that, the people I picked on you in the elections, I be trying to pick the people good for the people, okay? The people who actually got the citizens back. Most folks ain't doing that. So let's keep that real now. All right? Now, this is about $2,000 a month. And you got two things that's hard to do, y'all. You got money and time. It's hard to get both of those things at the same time. You got money and time. Now, she can live the way she wants to. If she want to watch TV all day, she getting that $500 a week. It is what it is. You know, if she want to be productive in society, you know, volunteer and do stuff, whatever, she getting that $500. As long as she don't get no job, she can keep getting that $500 a week. Now, the thing is, if you elect to get a job, the $500 a week is over with, and you cannot get on the program a second time. You get on one time, that's it. Once you come off, you come off. Now, you can stay on till you die, or you can stay on till you know, maybe you want to get back in the workforce for some reason. Okay? Shout out to Night sometime. He says, do lesbian feminist couple qualify as a dual household to receive $1,000? Look, man, the only thing is they're women. We're not asking about their sexual orientation. We're not asking. So if two lesbian women got on the program and they could get along with each other, yeah, they got $1,000 a month every Monday. $1,000 gonna show up. $500 for lesbian one, $500 for lesbian two. We're not asking about their sexual orientation. They just get the money if they want it. Now, I'm thinking a lot of jobs will be vacated. All right, a lot of jobs will be vacated. Why? Because there'll be some women who are working, they just tired of working. Y'all see women complaining all the time on the internet, I'm sure, who are quote unquote tired of working. Well, they ain't got to worry about it no more. Get this $500 a week, come on off the job. Now, you got some youngsters that's 18, 19, 20. They might be still working their first fast food job. Now, if you're a young lady and you work at McDonald's, and this is no diss to McDonald's, you know, one of the world's top companies or bigger companies, if not the biggest company in the world right now. You know, you can keep on working, you can keep on slanging them burgers. keep slanging them fries. You can keep trying to do math on these cash registers that have made adjustments because, they're not really teaching kids to count like they used to. Or you can come on off that McDonald's job. You can go, quote unquote, be a baddie. You can go get some mini skirts and get something to be at the clubs on every Friday night. Because keep in mind, y'all, the men, we're still working. We still working. Okay, somebody got to work. Somebody got to make something happen. So at the end of the day, it's going to be what it's going to be. Now that we got men working, there'll be a few guys who are able to get a raise. The job market will start to adjust. Okay, the job market will start to adjust. And I guess so everybody don't walk away from their job at the same time for the women who are going to walk away. I don't know. Maybe we do it where you get an online office and you got to process your stuff. And then as they get approved, they're able to walk away from the job. We let them work till they get their last. We'll let them work till they get their first non-job paycheck. I guess I should have came up with a name for this program. You know what? We'll call it the Women's Liberation Program. Okay, we call it because we liberating women from working. Okay, we liberating them from work. They got the freedom not to work. Okay, the freedom to not to work. Okay. So until you get your first women's liberation check, you work up to that point, you fill out your paperwork. We got all this stuff happening online, of course. It'll be some man who will, get maybe in the beginning it'll be a couple of women doing it, but we might as well start getting the men involved because the men gonna be the ones working for real. And again, y'all, we're not gonna even take a job from a woman. There's some women who are quote unquote CEOs making a big bag of money. Okay. Now, if she already working and she making $400,000 a year, is she finna quit to go get $500 a week? Probably not. She can keep on working. Okay, she can keep on working. We're not gonna try to keep women out the job market. We're not gonna do that. We're just offering them something where they just don't have to go to the job market. Now, will there be some women who are going to leave the job market? Well, if you got a woman making $30,000 a year, why wouldn't she? You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't she leave it? You get on that program, $500 a week. Okay. 52 weeks in a year. Yeah, well, that's 26 G's doing nothing. 26 G's doing nothing. Okay. I think a lot of them would probably take that. So now we got some positions clearing up. So now as a man, if you don't have a job, of course, we're going to judge you by that. We're going to judge you by that. All right. That's what's going to happen. Man, you got all these jobs out here available and you ain't doing nothing. You ain't going to look that great. You're not going to look that great. All right. The Great Black Reset, I'm going to say, stop hating, brother. Stop hating. That's all I'm going to say, man. Stop hating. All right. Now, we got women who can still go out, do what they want to do, mess around with different men, and they have children, and they straight. Now, check this out, y'all. Since we're going to make it where women don't have to work, we just going to eliminate that whole child support issue. If you get on the program, ain't no child support. Just get on the program. You got some. You're doing what you want to do. You living life the way you want to live. If you get pregnant and have children, that is fine. Now, what I'm not saying is a man can't. We're not saying the man can't voluntarily send money over to a woman who had a child by him. He can do that. He earns his money. He went to work. He did what he had to do. He get his money. He can do what he want with his money. So we're not going to tell men not to give their baby mama some money. We're just not going to have any court orders being made, and we're not going to make any enforcement efforts to collect money. We're going to free up government money and put it in better places. So we're not going to enforce anything. She gets a government check. You know, she can have kids if she wants to. Some of y'all may be thinking, well, what if she got kids or how many kids? Because she can do whatever she wants. We're not telling them how to operate. It's just $500 a week, and that's it. We ain't in their business. They get a Medicaid card. If they need some healthcare situations going on, you go, you get a Medicaid card, you good. And matter of fact, even your kids good. As long as the children are minors, your Medicaid card can also take care of your minor children. Now, when you're a girl and you grow up, now you're hitting that 18th birthday, you can make a decision for yourself. Either I can get on this program or I can go get me a job. Because she's 18 now. Now, this won't be offered for men in any way. Now, I understand this won't be equal, and people will have some issues with that because it's not equality. No, it ain't. It ain't. You know, but if we can get something like this done, how's it going to look? All right? It's not going to be equality. The women can do something the men can't do. The women are not going to be expected to get out there and start hustling hard. Why? Heck, y'all, because we need women to rest in their femininity, y'all. That's not the actual reason, but it's going to be the nonsense reason we come up with. Since a lot of women online saying stupid stuff like that, we gonna give them that one, y'all. We're going to use that as the reason. So women will have a right to rest in their femininity. Okay? All right? That's what every woman will now have the right to be a feminine woman. Okay? She has a right to do that. I think we should throw something else out there. You can be on the program should we put a rule in as long as she's not married? What about that? As long as she's not married. She can get the $500 a week as long as she's not married. Y'all tell me, y'all think a woman should get it if she married? You think she should still get the $500 a week, or you think if she get married she need to let that go? What y'all think? Because keep in mind, y'all, these are all men's tax dollars, and do some thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Before you say something in the chat, do some thinking. Should a woman be able to keep that $500 a week when she gets married, or should she have to give up that $500 a week because she got married? And keep in mind, you can only get on the program one time. We're not saying you have to. We're not saying you gotta. You know what I'm saying? You can start working 35 years old, but if you want to go from 18 to 35, just kick it. We giving you the money to do it. Okay, we're giving you the money to do it. Now, shout out to Ryan Woods. He say yes for married women. No. It's for all women. My question is, should they lose the $500 if they get married? Because you don't have to be married to get it. We're not doing that. Okay? Y'all ain't listening well. He said, what's the age of cutoff? There is no cutoff. She only comes off the program if she chooses to come off the program. Now, the thing is, you don't get a second entry onto the program. Once you go on the program, you own it for life. If you give it up, ain't no getting back on. We as a society of men, we're going to take care of women from birth to death. Birth to death. Okay? If she's on the program, if she's a child, any mother that's on the program automatically gets medical coverage for her children. When she becomes 18, she makes a decision whether she wants to get on that program or not. She can skip it if she wants to. She can save it for later. You know, she can work as much as she wants to. Maybe she works until she's 65, and maybe she believes she accomplished certain things. And then at 65, she said, hey, I ain't never been on that program. Let me get a piece of that. Let me get let me get on that program. Okay, let me get on it. All right, that's what she can do if that's what she wants to do. All right, I had somebody coming up, but look like we lost them. So no, ain't no cutoff age. She can stay on this for life if she want to. All right, that's on her. Now, the only question is, if she get married, should she be cut off the program? That's all I was asking. If she gets married, should she be cut off the program? Now, she'll be cut off the program if she ever decides to go get a job. If she decides to get a job, that's it. You know, you get you a job, boom, you're a regular citizen just like the men are. It's over with at that point. All right, program, you good. You get a job, program over with. And there is no going back to the program. Okay? There is no going back to the program. It's one time and one time only to get on it. And that's just the way it's going to go. All right? Now, shout out to... Okay, I see why you dipped out. I guess so you can get a more appropriate thing. Y'all, let's open up the flow for communism for hoes. That's a heck of a name. Communism for hoes. You got the mic. Do your thing, brother. Do your thing.
Can I be heard? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Roger. Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Say yes twice if you're being held against your will.
I'm blinking real fast.
Nah, because I can't believe you just woke up today and decide this is what you're gonna bring us as a subject. So we gonna turn all those calm, independent women into dependopotamus.
No. They keep in mind, they ain't got to get on this program. There's some working women who are going to believe that they're in good enough position, and they're going to want to just keep working. The program will be there if they decide, but they don't have. No one has to get on it. No one has to get on
it. And so, okay, let's say you're right, but what are they going to do with their lives then? What their purpose is going to be?
Hey!
Just being out there collecting paycheck and being hoes.
This is the Women's Liberation Program, brother. What they're gonna do is be liberated. That's what they're gonna. They're gonna have time and money, okay, which is a hard thing to achieve. And if they so wish, the ones who are just coming up to their 18th birthday, they'll have it early in life. All they gotta do is have an 18th birthday and complete high school or some form of GED. Once those two things are done, they are allowed to be an independent woman, an adult independent woman. So she'll have choices. She can go to the club every night if she want to. That's on her. She got to check. Okay. Now they not gonna be bothering men. Remember, ain't no child support program, none of that. If a man wants to give a woman money, cool. If not, it doesn't make a difference. And if she decides to have children, remember, her kids are covered under her Medicaid card. The government is paying for her medical health and her children's medical health. So basically, the men who are working, our taxes to get all this stuff covered anyway. So we're going to be taking care of them anyway. Now, when you think about it, is that a real big change from what we got going on right now? Is that really much of a change?
Not that much.
So why not just let them have their liberation?
But they're not going to be useful to anyone. I thought we were trying to solve the societal problems.
Hey. It's
Wives
a
and
thought
family.
experiment, brother. It's a thought experiment. When you have a thought experiment, you got to think about things from a different side here and there. The best way to figure out how something gonna work is to put some thought into it. We just putting a little thought into this. Okay, we just putting a little thought into. Women are looking for liberty. That's what they looking for, right? It's an ideal so they can get the liberty they're looking for. There are men who don't want to be responsible for the choices that women make, especially when they're not married to those women. We kind of putting some of that together. She 18. She does go get a high school diploma. She's now an adult ready to live in society. She free. Ain't no oppression. Ain't no having to be married. Ain't no having to cook, clean. Ain't no slavery. All the different stuff they said. She ain't got to do none of that stuff no more. Now, if she so chooses to go into the workforce, she can still do that. You don't have to get on the program. You could be 18 and never get on the program and just go into the workforce. Or maybe she still want to go to college for some reason. She don't get on the program and then she just goes to college. All right? She ain't got to do this now. She has liberty. She got choices.
So we're paying them to be lazy, shiftless.
No, not at all, brother. A woman can simply go out there and find a good husband if she want to. It's just giving them liberty to do it, and we're giving them money so they can quote unquote rest in their femininity. That's what the
Sprinkle,
women saying they
sprinkle.
need. They need to be able to rest in their femininity. Is that so bad? Y'all, as men, don't we want to give the women a chance? Okay. Don't we want to give the women a chance so they can express themselves the way they want to express themselves? So they can at least have a chance to live the life that they say they want to live. Just to give them a chance. So they can see if they really want that medicine that they put out, the things that they say they want, give them a chance to get it. Okay, give them a chance to get it. If you think you bad enough and you good enough, now you can get on this program and that might help you meet your husband. Because you can use your money doing whatever you want to do. You might want to use that money to go find the man of your dreams. That's on her. She got $500 a week to make it happen. Some of y'all may say, well, what if she buy a car? That's on her. What if she get an apartment? That's on her. Y'all, it's $500 a week. They can make deals with each other. You can have four, 5 friends. You can have some. Think about it, y'all. You got some girls who go into high school together. They decide they don't need to go to college for anything. They good. They getting on the program. So these young ladies, they in high school, they make their decision. Once they graduate and they all are able to, get this women's liberation money, they get a place together in a nice neighborhood. Nice neighborhood. Let's say they share they share a home that costs $2,000 a month. You go get your nice area, $2,000 a month. You can pay, and y'all may say, "Well, how's she gonna do that, bro? She getting $500 a week. It's 4 of them. They can go live in a nice neighborhood. They can quote unquote be protected. Okay, they can be safe without worrying about rapscallion out there causing problems, causing drama. They can live safely. And they can concentrate on meeting the guy they dreams if that's what they want to do. Okay? If that's what they want to do. Okay? Shout out to Michael Watson. He said, Roger, do they get to vote and be full citizens and dependents at the same time? You know what? That's an interesting question, Michael. That's an interesting question. Let's say, sure. They can still vote. They can still vote, I guess. Should they lose a right to vote if they gonna enter a program? Well, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't just decide that myself. What do y'all think? Okay. Now I'm gonna be realistic. If she decides to get on the program, she probably ain't voting anyway. Let's be realistic. If a woman gets on the program, she getting $500 a week. She probably not gonna vote. So I don't see. Is there any reason to stop them from having a right to vote at that point? They're already getting $500 a week. She ain't voting. She don't care. She's made her decision. Now, technically, because you have to register to vote, a lot of women's priorities are going to change up immediately. A lot of them ain't going to even register. Why? Because they're already getting $500 a week. I mean, think about this realistically, y'all. Your older sister, you're a young lady yourself, and you watch your older sister, who, let's say she's 2 years older than you. Okay, you 17 in your senior year. Okay, your older sister, 2 years older than you, she's 19 already. She already getting her 500. Okay. Now maybe she don't move out immediately. Maybe she's trying to find the right situation with her friends so they can share a nice, expensive place together. They want to live in downtown. See, if your downtown is like my downtown, it's real nice in downtown Chicago. It's real nice in downtown Chicago. You know, they get a place, costs about $2,000 a month. You know, 4 friends. You know, that's only a little bit out of each check. And they straight. This is very doable. Okay. Or they can stay at home with their mama. Think about that. So, and some of them would have 2 parents. There will be some that have 2 parents. It won't be the majority, but there are some with 2 parents. They sign up to get their 500. They ain't got. It ain't like they got to leave out the house right away. Now, if that's what their parent makes a decision on, that's on that parent. But the government, we're not saying they gotta move out the house right away. No, you just get your 500 a week because you don't want to get no job. So why not let them be full citizens? You know, why not let them be full citizens? Now, shout out to Michael Watson. and trust me, I see what you're doing, brother. I see what you're doing. He said, and you know what? It's funny how you put it, too. It is funny. I see what you're doing, but it's hilarious how you put it. He say, Roger, my kids don't get to vote on nothing. Oh. Michael, you make a good point. Okay. If other panelists come up, we'll see what the panelists think on that question. I guess we'll ask every panelist, should the women get the right to vote if they're on the program? Okay. Or if they're on the program, your right to vote is suspended because you may have already been in the workforce and you decide that you just gonna get on the program. And you know, there's women who might already be working. They lose their job. Maybe they sign up for unemployment. They might sign up for unemployment because they might get a little bit better than that based on what type of job they was working. They sign up for unemployment and just let that unemployment run out. Once the unemployment runs out, then they decide to get on the program because they through. Okay. You know, you might have a woman, she might be 46 already. She ain't going back to work and she know it. So she going to draw unemployment for 6 months. Once the unemployment over with, she just go get on the program and she through. It's over with. She's effectively retired at that point. Her medical expenses are covered. She ain't got to worry about that. And she getting 500 a week. And she can get that to the day she die. You know? Now, shout out to MJD. He say, Roger's giving those modern feminists uh, whore more incentives to stay whores. Am I? Am I really? Because I don't think I'm doing that at all. We're just creating a program where women can have this quote unquote liberty that they say they in search of. Okay, that's what we're doing. It's just a thought experiment, so women can get this liberty that they say they in search of. Now, do y'all think just because they are able to get on the program, get 500 a week, they automatically gonna be hoes? Does that make them automatically hoes? Yeah, it's women. They still can keep their virginity until they get married if that's what they want to do. They still can do that. They don't have to go out and be hoes, y'all. Y'all do understand that. And you know what? A lot of women say that they get involved in sexual behavior because they quote unquote got to be taken care of. Now they ain't got to worry about it. You ain't got to be no hoe. You getting 500. You getting 500 a week. You ain't got to be no hoe no more. You can chill. You don't have to deal with these dudes no more. You can relax. You straight. You can take care of yourself. You have any little medical issue, you covered. You ain't got to worry about this stuff like that. So now women will have the freedom to also not be hoes. There'll be no pressure. All right. And guess what, y'all? She ain't got to come up with no cockamamie story about how her uncle touched her either. Why? Because she gonna get her check. So she ain't got to come up with no crazy story to get money out of men. You can literally go out with a woman, and if she don't like how it went, she don't have to make up some crazy story about how you sexually assaulted her so she can try to get you arrested and put some type of lawsuit on. Now it ain't even necessary. She gonna get her money anyway. It's not necessary. Yeah. Now, as being, I understand why we're gonna look at some of the difficulties that may come up right away. I totally get that. I'm not saying you're wrong for doing it. You know, I expect the audience to come up with some reasoning on why this shouldn't happen. And I'm pretty sure there's some reasoning on why it should happen. Now, this is the thing, y'all. They'll be able to love their kids better. The ones that decide to have a child while they're on the program, they can now help those children with their homework. They got time and money. She don't have to go to work and struggle anymore. She can be at home. She got 3 kids.
How are they going to be useful to society?
How they going what?
They will be useful to society.
Useful to society? Keep in mind, the boys going to have to grow up and work. Ain't no program for the boys. They got to go up and work. So they're going to be useful to society because they're going to have to put in. Now, we're not asking the women to be useful to society. They can do it if they choose to. So why ask the question, how they're going to be useful to the society? A woman will never have that as a burden. She can get on the program at 18 and she can stay on that boy till she die. Now, maybe she died at 76. That means we're going to allow her to be on the program from 18 to 76. Yeah. Shout out to MJD. MJD the second says, Roger, you said you wouldn't give a homeless female $1 a couple days ago, but today you are proposing 500. Someone please check on him. Y'all, this stuff ain't personal to me. It's just a thought experience. It ain't personal to me. Okay. If I only do a show about me, that's not good entertainment for masses of people. Only so many people gonna care about me. I don't do shows just for myself. This is a thought experiment so y'all can really think about what's going on with these women and how y'all think life would go if this stuff is available. And would it be such a terrible thing? Okay, would it be such a terrible thing? Now women don't have to scam you because she's getting $500 a week. Y'all, they don't have to go on. What was the term they came up with for those for them dinner dates when the bra's just hungry? I can't think of the name, but see, stuff like that wouldn't even be necessary no more. She ain't got to go out with you because she hungry. She getting $500 every week. She ain't got to do that no more. Dinner whores, I think they called it, or whatever.
You've been living on welfare since forever. That doesn't stop them from building more men.
I mean, what if we already used to them living on it? Why not just be blunt with it? Shout out to Mr. Me Too. He said, Roger, any way they can get kicked off the program? No. It's only if you voluntarily get a job. We'll let you get your $500 a week until you get your we'll say 30 days after your start date. Let's make it that. She can get her $500 a week until it's 30 days after her original start date. Why 30 days? So she can get a regular full check. Y'all know how it is. You start a job, but you might come in right at the end of the pay cycle. You might only have 3 days on your check. The week's Sunday through Saturday, but you may have just got hired on. Let's say you just got hired on Thursday, and you got your Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in, and that was it. So your first paycheck only gonna be those 3 days. All right, it's gonna be a little show. So 30 days from the original hire date. But the thing is, you can't get back on the program again. So if you choose to go into the job world, you stay in the job world unless you can get a man to marry you and bring you up out the job world. But there's no going back to the program. You get one time to get on the program. And once you off, you off. But why kick them off? Because we don't like we don't like their attitude? Are we gonna kick them out because we don't like their attitude? No, she just has to be a woman. Which I know may be hard to figure out for some folk, but she gotta be a woman. And she just simply has to get a high school diploma or GED. That's it, man. It's not technical. It ain't hard. Okay? It ain't technical. It ain't hard. It ain't hard. Now, shout out to Chef Mike's Roundtable. He said, how does society benefit from half its population in a useless state? Who said they're going to be useless? Y'all think it ain't going to be some women that's going to work out here? Now, granted, it's enough money not to work, but there's women who already work. A CEO ain't finna give up her position. Not for no $500 a week. There's women that are lawyers out here. They're not finna get a position up for no $500 a week. Now, I know they was talking about, declassifying certain professions, saying they're not professionals anymore. Is an accountant going to give up her accounting work for $500 a week? And y'all think about this. She 18, 19, 20 years old. Now, she may come out of high school and decide to get right on the program. She may decide that. Now, technically, the program wouldn't stop her from going to college. So she can get $500 a week while she attends college. Now, I'm thinking if she attends college while getting $500 a week, now she's getting paid to study. You do a good job. You learn some stuff. The doors for women will open up, and they can do all that stuff a lot of feminists say they should do, but they don't seem to like to do or are interested in learning. But see, now you got a whole generation of women who can get involved in tech and all kinds of other. Why? Because she's getting $500 a week. She's getting paid to study, basically, if that's how she chooses to use her time. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. You know, shout out to MJD. He said, "How about proposals for keeping their family together?" Well, I mean, y'all know we'll do other thought experiments in the future. We've done some fun ones in the past. Now, maybe some of y'all seen them. Maybe some of y'all haven't. But we can do other thought experiments in the past. But in this situation, she's not forced to have a family. She's growing up. She got her high school diploma. She's not, quote unquote, forced into a family. She can form a family with a man when she's ready and has the, quote unquote, right man. She don't have to go out and just have no kids. Y'all, can we remember this as men? She don't have to go out and have no kids. She getting $500 a week. She ain't gotta have no kids. She'll have some kids when she get a husband. Now, the only question I'm gonna ask y'all: do y'all think she should lose that money of being on the program if she gets married, or should she be allowed to keep that money if she gets married? Because there's some pluses and minuses to things, you know. What do y'all think will end up making it a better situation? All right. Now, shout out to Mr. Me Too. He said, I think that would identify. Oh, I see what you're saying. I think you trying to say, I think I would identify as a woman. Oh, well, the government gonna have to make a decision on what a woman is. So I'm saying it'll have to be an actual woman. Okay, you have to be an actual woman. And you can identify as a woman all you want to, but you'll have to be an actual woman. Yeah, and y'all remember Trump already killed them programs and killed that paperwork stuff where you can't just identify whatever. It's only two choices now. It's male and female. It's a government program, so they're gonna ask you flat out: are you a male or a female? Are you a man or a woman? And that's gonna be an affidavit, and they find out you lying. Boom, they got you now. They can prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. So remember, y'all, ain't no identifying as a woman under Trump, okay? That's over with, y'all. That's over with, okay? And that's real talk. That's over with. Okay? Now the thing is, y'all, you know, hold on. It's the Great Black Reset. Gerard, to skip your super chat. We need answers. Hold on, did I miss the super chat? Let me roll back up. I ain't gonna skip nobody's super chat. Okay. I see. Okay, this is the one from Michael Watson. I know I read that one. Okay, here we go, y'all. I think it's some hating going on. But I'm gonna let it slide. He said, "People, we apologize. Roger seems to be unwell today. We are negotiating with we are negotiating with I think you're saying we're negotiating with the hostage takers to get him back at this time. Stay tuned." Shout out to you, Great Black Reason. At least I know you got my back. I can't say too much about you if you negotiate with the hostage takers. I can't say too much bad about you. But y'all hit that like button, okay? Y'all hit that like button, okay? Now, shout out to Afro Troop TV. He says, #31. If she's homely and obese, then her then I guess you meant to put she could rent a boy. She could rent a boy. I guess that's what you meant to say. Now this is the thing. If she's homely and obese, she'll be taken care of automatically if she just gets on the program. All right. So even the women that don't have the best genetics, as people would say, they didn't win the gene pool, they'll still be okay. All right. They'll still be okay. Now, this is the thing, y'all. Are you going to have children with women on this particular program? See, that's a choice you get to make. Now, what I do believe would probably happen to a lot of women, it would make it a little bit easier for y'all to identify what type of time a woman is on. Because let's say she do sign up to get this $500 a week. Now, if she's on the $500 a week program and she's doing nothing but being on the $500 a week program, won't that let you know a little something about her and her priorities? Now, you may deal with a young woman who's 18 and over. She decides to get on the program, but she does attend college full time. She's a full-time student, but she's getting $500 a week. Yeah. Would that take care of your dorm room and your expenses in today's time? Well, I guess that depends on what school you're going to go to. You might have to go to school in state instead of out of state. You know, you may have to rent you a small studio apartment. You know, maybe you're going to end up paying $600, $700, $800 a month for your studio apartment. But if you had to pay $800 a month, you still got $1,200. You can make some stuff happen. Go become a full-time student. Don't get pregnant. And she can prepare herself for her husband one day. Y'all know what she could do? She could actually talk to a man who's doing something in his life. And she could say, well, what you going to be later on down the road? And she could actually go to school to help fill whatever particular function will be needed based on what that man is going to do. So I get it. There's some negative things that could come up, but they're not all negative things. There's positive things that can come up because remember, y'all, we giving her a society where she can now rest in her femininity. She don't have to work super hard. She don't have to be super tired. You know, she just got to cooperate with a man if she want one, or she can just get that check and don't worry about cooperating with anybody ever again in life. It's her option. So this may help us identify certain women a whole lot faster, if you ask me. What's the chances of women being dinner whores if they're getting $500 a week? This could be a very, very, very beautiful thing, y'all. Now you're going to mess around and deal with women who like you for real. Okay? You know? Because she don't need to mess with some dude that she don't really like. I understand some men are concerned with getting a woman who doesn't really like them. Okay? Shout out to MJ2. I mean, MJD the second. He say, I reluctantly hit the like button. I missed the Rogers of yesterday. Okay, I missed the Roger of yesterday. Look, man, it's one show with a thought experiment so we can see what y'all think about the situation. Stop worrying about Roger, y'all. Ain't nothing changed with me. Okay, we're doing a thought experiment to see what y'all think is going to happen if we actually gave women this freedom that they claim they want. We're giving them the freedom to not be pressured into living any kind of life that they do not want to live. They have the freedom to pursue what they want to pursue. They can entertain the men they want to entertain. without complication because she don't have to go to work on Monday. You know, she can deal with a guy on Friday night, and she can see this next guy Saturday night, which y'all may say, well, a lot of them doing that now. Well, she can see the next guy Sunday night. She can see the next guy Monday night. There's no pressure for her to be anywhere. She on the program. Her medical situation is taken care of, and she getting $500 a week. Maybe she gets a place for $800. She got $1,200 to make it through. I mean, technically make it through the month. You know, some months you'll do a little bit better because you'll get that, you know, little extra something. But on the first of each month, man, she got this extra well, not the first of each month, but every single Monday, boom, she got $500 a week that's going to appear in her account. She can move like she need to move. Okay. And I want is this like a bad? If this is a bad idea for y'all, because you know some of y'all saying some strange stuff or whatever. Express why you think it's a bad idea. Cause you know what? I'm not gonna say it for real. But there could be an onlooker woman who's looking at this and she like, well, see, them niggas don't want us to have no freedom. Now, I hate to tell you, she gonna call you a nigga. I'm not saying you a nigga, but she gonna call you a nigga. See how these niggas is? These niggas don't want us to have no freedom. Man trying to give us an opportunity to live the life we want to. And you niggas don't want us to have no freedom. Now, why is this so bad, y'all? Why does it sound so bad? All right. You know, do we accept second class treatment in other areas? Well, we can't accept this though. Okay, we can't accept this one. As a thought experiment, y'all do understand this ain't real. This is just a thought experiment. This is not real. After today, this is gonna be over. And shout out to Sigma Boy. He said that's really not a lot of money in today's living, but it's enough. Okay. Now we trying to make women who are not working live at this super high level? Ain't that enough? You know, it's $500 a week, but it's free money. How do you have a different number that, I mean, just think about it, Sigma Boy, and I ain't coming at you, I'm just asking a question. How much money should we y'all mute up when you show up. Y'all, if you're coming as a guest, y'all should mute up before you come to the show. All right. Because somebody got to turn around. You got a mean echo right now. So let me get this out, okay? You got a mean echo right now. Look. Maybe 500 ain't a good number. I'm not saying the number can't be different. What I'm asking is, you know, the Sigma Boy or anybody else, because it's not me trying to pick on him or nothing like that. What's a legitimate number for a woman to not have to concern herself with working and taking care of medical expense? What's a good number we should give them if that's not the right number? I think it's a pretty decent number, and all your medical bills are you have nothing to spend on medical. Even if you have a child, as long as your child is a minor, you have nothing to spend on medical. You just show up, you give them your Medicaid card, everything's good to go. And, you know, you good to go. Now I'm gonna say Sigma Boy say 1,000 a week, y'all. So you gonna give a woman 1,000 every Monday and she don't have to do nothing? Now I'm gonna say that seems like a pretty big number to me, y'all. That seems like a pretty big number. 1,000 a week to do nothing? And your medical expenses are already taken care of? I don't know about that one. Okay. Now, y'all, the chat, I mean, y'all can say what y'all want to say. I'm not saying he picking a bad number. I'm saying for me, that seems a little high. That seems a little high to pay a person not to work. Okay. But let me let these new gentlemen get the mic. Chef Mike's Roundtable, you have the flow, my brother. You have the flow.
Oh boy. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good evening. wherever you happen to find yourself on this, what are you drinking today, Roger Wednesday? I need you. I'm gonna take my 2 minute opening statement, and I am going to need you to qualify that you are not a robot. I'm gonna need you to check all of the boxes that have red lights in them. After which, I'm gonna need you to check all of the boxes that have motorcycles in them to verify that you are not AI, because you are not the Roger that we know. I know this is a thought experiment, but I'm trying to figure out what head you thinking with. I ain't finished yet because I still got about a minute and a half left. Roger, I really don't understand. And then you talk about the $1,000 a week. Well, what do we get for $500 a week? The $500 that you want to get these women. What do we get for this $500 a week that we got to pay? Because now, mind you, we still got to pay taxes. We still, you know what you trying to give us, Roger, and I want everybody to hear this. Roger is trying to truly bring the bonnet brigade into fruition, because you ain't gonna have nothing but a whole bunch of bundles, lashes, lace fronts, and makeup looking like they ready for they final close up. I'm talking casket sharp, running around here talking about I don't need no man because I got somebody paying me already. Roger, how is that different from what's going on now? How is that different from what's going on now? I'm trying to understand. Like for real. Roger, you have thrown me for a loop to the point where I have gotten private messages. Somebody texted me and it was like, Chef, do you need to take Roger's suit and everything? Listen, brother, I'm just trying to figure out what's really going on, and I'm gonna land my plane right there. Get that
I'm gonna
money.
I'm gonna say shout out to everybody who feels some type of way, or if you're concerned that Roger's okay, y'all. Hey, it's a show. You got to take different ideas and throw different ideas out there, y'all. It's a show. Okay, we ain't gonna bring you the same thing every day. We're not gonna do that over here, y'all. It'll never be boring over here at the Roger Report Live. This is an interesting concept so men can truly express whatever it is that they want to express about certain situations. And you know what, Chef? I do get your point. Like, or it technically ain't really nothing different than what's going on today. Well, I'm gonna say, yeah, it's slightly different. It definitely be some slight differences because women can just be who they want to be. And at 18, they could just say, look, mom, I graduated. What you gonna do next, baby? I'm about to go get on that program.
Wait. Be who they want to be. We don't like who they are now. Roger? What are you doing to us? What are you trying to do to us? We don't like who they are now, and you trying to give them $52,000 a year to give us more of what we don't like, brother. You know what? You drank that Kool Aid, didn't you drank that Kool Aid, didn't you? Wait, who cooked that spaghetti for you the last time you ate spaghetti? Did she come off of 43rd Street? I just need to know who cooked that spaghetti for you, because somebody done messed up your brain. I ain't saying I'm done. I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna sit back because Roger, you man, let me. Oh goodness, I need me a cup of coffee.
Hold on now. I got to defend myself. I didn't suggest the 1,000 a week. I said the 500. The audience came up with the 1,000 a week. That was the audience number. What my number? I said 500. You know, I think that's enough for you to rest in your femininity. I do believe it is. Now, shout out to Afro Merchant. He said, shout out to the AI Roger Report. Hashtag long live habitual line steppers. Hey, I appreciate that, my brother. I appreciate that, y'all. No, it's a thought experiment. And Chef, I do get what you're saying, you know, because would this give us more of what we don't want? Okay. Now, keep in mind, y'all, I understand an 18-year-old probably going to take this maybe for a little while. There'll probably be some of them that's still gonna go to school or something like that. I'm not saying the rules would change with school or anything like that. I'm not saying the government will pay for school, but they do have $500 a week to help them get through school. They can get their educations, they can get another job, and they can be better prepared to pay off their school loans and things like that. Because until they start working, they got $500 coming in. They shouldn't have to stress to go be with any particular man. Therefore, they can entertain the men that they're truly interested in without issue.
Oh goodness.
Now,
Oh
how is
good.
that gonna hurt men
Oh good.
that she will
Oh good.
entertain the men she want without issue?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Now,
Mm.
shout out to
Roger.
Ryan Disciple. He said,
Wait, go back up and get Sharks super chat too.
"Hold on, my bad. Yeah, shout out to Shark. That is funny." He said, "This is a thoughtless experiment." Shout out
Shark, I
to you,
roll with
Shark.
you.
Shout out to you, Shark. uh, and shout out to Ryan Decipher, y'all. Y'all see y'all costing me money, all right? Ryan Decipher say, "I usually donate $100 to Roger. AI Roger gets $2." Well, shout out to you, Ryan Decipher. And I'm gonna say, yeah, he keeping it real, y'all. If you ain't been around, he usually do come through with $100. It's a little bit different today. Y'all costing me money. Okay, let's
This
get it
is
together.
how I know this is not Roger. Listen, audience, we Jermaine today. I'ma shut up. It's Tunnel Runner. Oh, Tunnel Runner gone. You done talk so much you ain't even let Tunnel Runner get in there. It's Jermaine's fault, and we Jermaine.
Look. At the
At
end of the
what?
day, we just putting a certain idea to the forefront to see
I
what we
thought
can,
I
you
thought we
know.
didn't like to put forward false narratives. This ain't no thought experiment. This a migraine.
Shout out to Sigma Boy. He said Roger might actually be on to something, especially if UBI actually takes effect in the future. What UBI could possibly be a thing in the future, possibly. But before you get to that, we might be doing something like this in real life. If we're gonna go to UBI, we might be doing something like this in real life. But this is the thing, y'all. She's an 18-year-old girl. She just graduated. I totally get her making the decision to get on the program. But keep in mind, you can only get on this program once. If you come off for any reason, because we're not pushing you off, you're voluntarily getting off the program. How do you voluntarily get off the program? You get a job.
That's not
After
gonna
that
happen.
job, after that job says you pass your first 30 days, they're going to notify the government and she off that program for life. Now you say
Okay.
that's not going to happen. So you saying they're not going to get a job?
Okay, Roger. Let's go down this rabbit hole. Let's go down this rabbit hole with you. Let's okay. I calm down and I drunk me a glass of water. Let me calm down. Let's go down this thought experiment with you, sir.
It's just a thought
18,
experiment, y'all. It's
eight-
just a thought experiment.
18 years old. Okay, 18 years old. Well, what do I know about 18-year-olds? They have been in school all this time and they have no adult skills. And now you are proposing that we pay them to not develop any adult skills en masse. I'm not talking about your outliers. I'm not talking about exceptions to the rules. I am speaking in general. So now we have a whole bunch of unskilled young ladies who still living at home and have no incentive to get out of their parents' house. Let me rephrase that, to get out of her mama house, because most of these 18-year-olds live with their mama. You truly are asking us to accept the thought of us paying for a coven, a true beehive, a true ant farm. The queen bee is going to have all of her minions still living at home with her, and we still paying for it $500 a week. What? And you said this. We're paying them to rest in their femininity. That's what you said, right?
I did say that.
Okay, I just want to. no, no, no. I just want to make sure that I am following the conversation and the thread of thought, as closely and as accurately as I can. So if they are resting, we're paying them to rest in their femininity. What are they resting from?
The pressures of being oppressed by men.
Wait. No, 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 no. See, you just jumped ship because I'm talking about these 18-year-olds who have no skills, who have been in school all of this time, and who are still living with their mama. What are they resting from?
Well, the thing is, I guess technically they're not resting from any particular thing at that particular point.
So, what are we paying them for?
They will be able to go out there and
Stop,
become.
stop. They're gonna be able to go out there and become burdens.
Well, now let's think about this. Let's think about this because you coming up with a, what I'm saying. I see kind of where you're going, but let me think about this too. You have women who have raised some girls. Let's say we got a young woman who she about 40 years old. She got two daughters. Okay, so now it's all women. Now, what
Hmm.
do I know about women when their daughters start getting of age? They start bumping heads anyway. Now, truthfully, you can let your daughter live at home if that's what you want to do, or you could just put her out without regard because she's getting 500 a week once she on that program. And
I see now. Hmm.
and if she's not on that program, you still can put her out knowing she has the ability to go get on that program.
Ah, I see what the problem is now. I see what the problem is now. You still believe that a certain segment of the population is still alive. Those people that would enforce that, Roger, are dead and continue to die. All of the mothers that would say, baby, make something of yourself, they dead. They either dead or too old to care.
Well, no, I'm
Think,
saying
wait. Well, no, no, no. Think about it, Roger. You got mothers out here competing with their daughters for the same man. You don't think they're gonna figure out how to share a man, how to share a rotation of men, how to compare, how to not shop at the same store so we don't get in each other's way, baby girl. You don't think they're gonna do that, bro, Roger? Yeah, you on one today, I swear.
no. I'm thinking this is what I'm truly thinking. There will be
Hmm.
a large segment. You have a mother that does not like her daughter. The mother does not like her mother. That's just something black women do. So I know it's happening in other races and things too. So now you're gonna have people that don't get along with each other, but they in the same house. Now the mama don't really mess with her kids like that. We see black mothers don't really mess with their children like that anyway. So now you can put her out guilt free.
Wait, to go where? So wait, she only getting $500 a week according to you. Where is she gonna go and survive for $500 a week?
And get you a nice little studio for about 800. You know what I'm saying? You be all right.
Roger, 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 Roger. You might be able to get a studio apartment somewhere in, Joplin, Missouri or something like that. But you ain't finna do that nowhere that's relevant. You're not finna do that in Atlanta. You're not finna do that in Chicago. You're not finna do that in New York. So now you're gonna have a whole bunch of, and you know what? I'll even go up on the age. I won't just say 18-year-old. I will even give you up to 25. So you're gonna have a whole bunch of women, 18 to 25, that you are now paying $500 a week to rest in their femininity. Okay. Now, let me tell you what that $500 a week is going to do because I see this and these chicks work every day. They go to the bar every day. They drink more than you or I every day. They curse worse than sailors every day. They eat fast food, processed food on the go. Stop by the grocery store to pick something up on the way home every single day. That will be multiplied exponentially because you're not giving princesses, $500 a week to rest in their femininity. You are giving pirates $500 a week to go out and make everywhere Port Royal.
Okay, and before because Black Roo done came up. Before I go there, let me say shout out to Q Control. Q Control, you say why would a 21-year-old daughter want the same man as her 50-year-old mother? That's the dumbest statement to me that keeps repeating on socials. Unless
Wait.
she's 21 and mom 35, shaking my head. Sheesh. Now
Oh wait, can I get this one, Roger? Please let me get this one.
All right, well, go ahead. But I'm gonna say something after you. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
Q Control. I'd like you to just take the time to either go to the App Store or the Play Store and please download this brand new app called TikTok. Once you download this brand new app called TikTok, I'd like you to go up to the search bar and just type in cougars. Because what you're saying, 50 years old, yeah, what about the 50-year-old that's screwing the high school student? How many examples of those do we have? What you're talking about saying that this is the dumbest statement? No, that what you're saying is a dumb statement because you have women that go online that make content, satirical content, talking about grandmama gonna get her a nice young tender thing. Man, go somewhere with that. Take several seats, please.
And I'm gonna say Q Control. I'm gonna say, brother, I hear you with this 21 and 50-year-old example. But let me tell you why they would be messing with the same man. Because he got a job. That's it. If he willing to break off a couple of dollars here or there, it don't take much for women nowadays, bro. They'll mess with the same dude. I've literally had a guest on my show before who came on the show and he was messing with a daughter and her mama. And everybody knew about it. They was in the same household. That's just a random person who came as a guest on my show. Next thing is, let's be realistic. If you have a daughter at 20 years old, when you're 40 years old, your daughter's 20. A lot of people gonna have kids at 18 or even earlier. So now you can be 38 years old with a 20-year-old daughter. Okay? It's a lot of women who had kids at 15 and 16. So you could be 35 years old with a 20-year-old daughter. Well, you probably be 36 with a 20-year-old daughter. So to have the idea that a mom and her daughter won't mess with the same guy in today's time, I'm gonna say it's probably just a little bit unreasonable. The numbers are just too close. It's probably a little bit unreasonable to just think some 40-year-old woman don't necessarily have a child that's only 16 years younger than her. You see what I'm saying? And I know. I mean, there was all types of television shows that was going on where you had girls on there and they were quote unquote teen moms. I mean, I don't think it's that difficult to find a woman who will be interested in the same man as her daughter in today's world, brother. I just don't see that as a tough thing to find. And that's real talk. And especially if you got a little money or he have a nice car or he works at some job that gives him status. Or guess what? If he a nigga out of prison. It ain't that hard. Mama want a nigga from prison, and so do her daughter. Daughter acting like mama. And they will share a nigga that came out of prison.
Man, let Black Guru go, Roger, because you done talked enough. Please let the elder come and at least give you some sense. Please and thank you.
All right, Black Guru,
Yeah,
you have the floor, my
thanks
brother.
for having me, Roger. I hope you're doing well. Now, thanks, Chef. It's not that I appreciate your channel, Roger. You doing your thing, but very often I will forget things if I'm not able to say them. When they hit me. So sometimes I'll be a little more aggressive or assertive, not to be impolite, but to prevent the possibility of missing the point. And but on the point, you see, and you touched on it, Chef. All throughout social media, you have older women bragging about all of the, and I'm gonna use this term, Roger, just for the sake of emphasizing it. Of course, I know you generally prohibit this term, and I agree with why you prohibit, but I'm using it to emphasize the point here. You all over the social media, you mentioned TikTok, Chef. You got women celebrating being hit on by YNs all over social media. You got 30 something, 40 something, 50-year-old women celebrating being hit on by 20 something year old men. So, they'll definitely share. A mother and daughter would definitely share a 20-something-year-old dude, and you got to you might not know the psychology of women. Some women will do that to spite each other. And as sort of a weird kind of spiteful competition, they'll do that kind of thing. So yeah, they're gonna, and especially if the guy is particularly good looking or tall or got something going on, you damn right they'll share some 21-year-old dude. For sure. Easily. Right now, they'll easily do that. So I have no question at all about the possibility of that happening. Not the possibility of it happening, but the actual occurrence of it that's occurring right now. That's occurring right now, and occurring at growing levels and numbers and frequency. But on your point, well, first of all, I want to express my appreciation to Chef in particular, because you were kind of exposing all of my weaknesses and lapses in this whole thesis that Roger has presented here. Well, here's the question I have, and forgive me if I admit if I missed some part of what you said that covers this, Roger. How is society, and including and especially men, supposed to benefit from doing this?
Well,
How are we supposed to benefit from doing this?
well, this particular thought is not to even quote unquote necessarily benefit the men. It's proposed to benefit women. Now, men may get some indirect benefit from it, but it's just giving women a society where it's guaranteed that every woman can be taken care of if she wants to be. So not a direct benefit of men. Now, depending on what decision we make on if they could keep that $500 a week even after they get married, that could then turn into a very beneficial thing to men. But there's no direct benefit. We're just making sure every woman is taken care of if she chooses to be.
We've already seen 60 years of a welfare state. So you're essentially talking about taking what has actually happened the last 20 years, and just making it so much more expensive and making it essentially universal. I think, again, based on what we can observe of history since 1964, 1965, it's pretty obvious where we would end up, including and especially where the women would end up. If they're fucked up now, it's just a damn clusterfuck if you do what you recommend. I think all of the worst elements of female behavior and character would come out if you did that.
Well, now, excuse me. Now, I'm gonna say, keep in mind certain things that we have in place we can just get rid of, because, and now it'll just be people making bold decisions. So you kind of know what people are. You will know the difference between the woman who chose to get on the program versus and do nothing versus the woman who chose to get on the program and then pursue a college degree. Because unless she goes into the workforce, she can still collect that money. So she can get a whole degree without touching the workforce. Technically, if she want to go the super cheap route, even if she got to get some loans, she can stay on that $500 a week until them loans are paid off. Might take her a long time, but she could technically do that. But now when it comes to family, child support will come to an end. I do believe a lot of women would not want to keep the children because there is no child support anymore. Now, if you want to give your woman some money because she got custody,
why
you
would child
can.
support in?
Because
Why
now
would
the
child
women
support in?
because the women are already taken care of. And remember, I said that the medical coverage we give would also extend to
No, but
all minor
child
children.
support is for the child, though. Child
Right.
support legally
Supposedly.
is specifically
Legally.
No, but I'm saying legally
No, I
is
get what
for
you're
the
saying.
child. It's not for the women. How it's actually used, let me finish, Roger. How it's actually used is obviously a totally different thing. But from a legal, judicial, statutory standpoint, child support is for the child. So you can't, in my view, you can't factor that into this fantasy scenario you present. That's exclusive of this.
That is very true, Roger. That is very true. You cannot do
See,
that because you are talking about a technical thing. It is, say it with me, child support.
see. You gotta keep these smart niggas off the panel sometimes. You gotta
Oh, you see, Black, ooh, you see how he do us. You see how he do us.
Hey,
No,
I called him smart.
he thought he could play fast and loose with the rules as he kind
I
of present
know.
this shit. That's what he thought. That's what he thought he could do.
And now you know what? I would actually think this was the real Roger and not AI. If Roger had said, you know what? Why don't we give every man $500 a week along with the job that he does? We give every man a stipend for $500 a week. And if you are a black man that is, on our side, black man that believes in black men's leadership, productive, functional, you get an extra $500 to take care of your family, to take some of the burden off of you, to make yourself more attractive so that these women will actually get themselves together because they realize that we don't need them. I would
Look,
believe that was the real Roger, but this AI Roger, yeah, we're gonna deal with this.
hey man, there's different thought experiments that are gonna come up. Some of them gonna be on the side we're more used to with these thought experiments, but every once in a while there'll be one for the other side too. It's just an experiment, y'all. Just a thought experiment. Every once in a while we're gonna have one of this for the other side too.
Accepting the possibility of it, and I guess we really would have to have reached idiocracy level in order for a political system, governmental system to adopt this particular process. But accepting that, it would be ruinous to the women and ruinous to society overall. It would be devastating and Chef said some things about the behavior, in particular the changing of the character and the socialization of the female, that I wholeheartedly agree with. Like you said, I think these women would be living with each other, even though they hating each other and fighting each other. They'd be screwing the same guys, mother, daughter, and even grandmother and granddaughter. And they'd all be kind of, putting that quote free money together. And you see various things of that happen to this day, where you have 4 or 5 generations of people, females or whatever, in one household or in one community, and they're all kind of cobbling together free or reduced resources of some sort in a very sort of dysfunctional way, and breeding dysfunctional future generations of people along the way. And we see those communities here in Chicago, Roger, a multi-generations, 4 or 5 generations of people who are who cobble together various sorts of social programs and free money and welfare and charity and not-for-profit stuff to maintain some very dysfunctional or even pathological socialization and upbringing of children. So I think it would just be disastrous.
Okay. Now I'm gonna say shout out to Alpha,
especially for Black women. Now, white women or Asian women or whatever might in some cases behave differently. But for Black women and this whole gynocratic plantation thing that we've been bred into, oh, that would be just horrible. That would be fucking horrific.
Ooh.
Let us know how you really feel. Shout out to Alpha Beret, I guess this was. I don't know exactly what you was trying to put in as the name, but shout out to you. He says this guy proposes men to be willing slaves to women. No, you wouldn't be a slave. Remember, you're going to get up and go to work like you've been doing. Okay? For all of us who got jobs, we're going to get up and go to work like we've been doing. Okay? If you're a business owner, you're going to still get your business taken care of. Okay? All right. Now, for the guys who don't have a job, there will be some spaces freed up because some women are going to leave their jobs. There's just going to be some women who are old enough and they close enough to retirement with that little guaranteed $500 a week coming in. They're going to be like, man, I'm out of here. I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have some of them breaking away. And I know people ain't, you got to really think about it from a realistic point. You'll have some women in their 60s who going to say, yeah, I'm 62. I'm checking out. I'm getting $500 a week. I'm checking out. I'm good. My house is paid for. Some women will have had husbands, but they're now widows. They're going to say, let me get out the job market. I don't really want to deal with this no way. Yeah, there'll be some younger women that's taking the program immediately. They may change their mind down the road some. You might have that 18-year-old to get on the program, but then by the time she's 23, 24, 25, she may start seeing things a different way and start trying to, comport more to what a man wants so she can be chosen. Different things are going to happen with different stages. But eventually you get to a point where it's just kind of normal when you grow up that this is what you see. And I'm going to say for men, now I'm going to say it's much easier to identify what type of woman you're dealing with because you can just ask her how long she been on the program and what have you done while being on the program. That's going to tell you a whole lot of information right there. But I'm going to let our new guest now I'm finna read the Cash App real quick. Then I'm going to let you get in. Shout out to Ryan Decipher. He says, Roger playing jive. All right, Ryan. Ryan say, Roger playing jive turkey when Chef and Uru spoke with reason, didn't he? He must have recently hung out with them folks in the shop. Look, man, I was doing a little drinking last night. I was hanging on 43rd.
See, and now it comes out. So everyone that would have given Roger, this is a plug for Black Uru and for myself. Everyone that would have given a donation to Roger, please give it for the Clearer Heads Fund, for the Talking Sense Fund, for the Black Uru and Chef Mike saving Roger from this silliness fund. Thank you so very, very much.
Look, man, look. Now, of course, I'm drinking about being on 43rd and drinking last night.
Oh, so you drinking about being on 43rd and drinking last night? You sound like you still drinking.
It's just a thought experiment. And y'all, we gonna do different types of thought experiments that I get from different places. And if y'all want some, you can put it in the comments, thought experiment, and then put an ideal in for a thought experiment, and then we can put yours on the list too. So it's on y'all what y'all want them to be. It's on y'all what y'all want them to be. But obviously, this is a series that I've been doing, and I'm gonna try to make sure I get more and more of them in from time to time. But let me give it to the king of thumbnails. Let me turn it over to him. And yes, y'all, he been doing some great work on the thumbnail side. We appreciate him. You didn't see some of them over here at the Roger Report Live. He do a great job. And and shout out to Compassion Cow. He say Dr. T call is a gyno pedestal network. Yeah, there will be some women who gonna be involved in something like that, y'all. There's gonna be some women who gonna be involved in some stuff like that. All right, so but I do want to do some exploration on some things that even women and I'm gonna say a lot of blue pill people suggest from time to time, just so we can have them thought out and have a real grasp on where things might go. Okay, but King of Thumbnails, you got the flow, my brother.
What's up, Roger? What's up, Chad? I just got one question. The women that's on this program, is it mandatory birth control till they get married?
No, they doing what they want to do. They want to
So
have
my te-
kids. They can have kids. I guess they could possibly get child. Well, I'm gonna say technically because Black Guru came in, but technically child support is for the child. I guess every single one of them will get child support because if you got a woman with no job and she getting 500 a week, she has the time to go file every piece of paperwork necessary to
Let
get
me
child
tell you
support.
what's going to happen. These women are going to move in together. They're going to have babies. So on top of this $500, they're getting child support. And a very fairly high number and percentage of them are going to engage in the various black market activity, including sugar baby and hooking and various forms of it. They are not going to work most of them are not going to work a regular job. They're going to create a whole way of getting money, or combinations of ways of getting money where they never have to work. That's what most of them are going to do. The only ones who might not do it are going to be ones who have been raised consistently by multi-generations of hard, strong, will, hard-working men. Those are the only ones who are going to have bred within them the integrity of working and decency and that sort of thing, it being industrious. If they ain't been raised by a man, a strong man, it's all just free money. Everything will be about free money for most of
Roger,
Yes, sir.
the first step is admitting that you had a problem. You got a problem. That's the first step to sobriety.
them.
And I'm glad you said that, King. I'm glad you said that because
Damn.
that reminds me
Damn.
of a commercial from Roger's favorite athlete. The great Michael Jordan said, "Stop it. Get some help."
Stop it. What was that? I think he was on SNL. I think he did that on SNL. That was a classic.
Stop it. Get some help. And that's
And
your man
the thing
telling
about
you
it is, even though it was funny, it actually would have been a real effective, like real commercial, because it was very convincing.
All I'm gonna
Yeah,
say, King
man.
of
Look,
Thumbnails. I ain't think that was
it's
gonna be you, man. I
it's
ain't
an
think you'd do me
interesting
like that.
it's an interesting experiment. Congratulations to you for really kind of being provocative today. But yeah, that would be that again. Dante's Inferno of Hell. That
Mm.
would be one of those cycles in hell you're describing right there. If you had that going on, that would be a part of the hell multiverse right there.
All
Yeah.
right.
Anyone listening to Roger, abandon all hope.
Yeah, that's what Virgil said. That's what Virgil said, man.
Abandon all hope.
It's just about experiment, y'all. It's just about. We done had a lot of good ones and funny ones, y'all. I really appreciate that Titanic one. I wanted to listen to that the other day, but unfortunately, we don't have that no more. That was hilarious to me. But it's just a thought experiment, y'all. Shout out to No Placeholder. He says, Houston, we got a problem here. Hashtag long live habitual line steppers. Hey man, it could go terribly wrong the way y'all suggested. It could go terribly wrong. Well, it may not, but it very much could go terribly wrong. But I do
Right.
think it's something that men should actually put a little thought into it, because honestly, this is a much bolder way of just putting out some stuff that is kind of happening in society. But right now, it's just go on, pick it, be more overt with it instead of sneaking around the back door. This is really just a thought experiment about being overt with what you're trying to get done. But Compassion and Callous is here, so let's let him get the mic. Compassion, you got it, my brother.
What's good, bro? Can y'all hear me? I'm coming
Yes,
in.
I'm
sir.
all right. I'm all right. You know, trying to get through the 43rd Street traffic.
Nah, I see where you're going with. I mean, it is a thought experiment, crazy ass thought experiment, nonetheless. But it reminds me, this isn't so far fetched, I think, as we think, because South Korea is entertaining the idea of a social safety net for women right now. They're trying to figure out how it will work, because right now they have a crisis of childless, unmarried women, and they predicting more, just like the U.S. is, which in real life they have to reconcile what to do with all these useless ass women. So there is a possibility that tremendous amount of resources will be diverted to maintaining a bunch of useless ass women. I think the women will advocate for it, and I think women can convince a large swath of society to advocate for it. So it's not as far-fetched, I don't think. Maybe a $500 stipend. I think subsidized housing, universal subsidized housing for women, especially women, that are older, maybe 40 plus, or maybe even just universal. I could see that coming with how much power politically women have in this society, and how much men allow women to have this sort of power and influence. I could see an argument being made I think, again, South Korea, look it up, the social safety net for women, because they already have a generation of basically 35, 40 plus women with no prospects in terms of retirement. And they are advocating and crafting a social safety net. So I don't know if it sounds like you're right, Uru. It would be a gynocratic stimulus package. It would 100% boost the guy. Now it would exponentially grow a gynocratic culture, 100%. But I'm not sure how far fetched that is, honestly.
Okay, I'm gonna say shout out to South Korea for having this in place before I did this show, because I ain't even pay no attention to them doing that. Shout out to Afro Troop TV. My one friend today, y'all. I got one friend today. He said, I think it's a brilliant idea. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. You know what? I do believe this is something that we should think about. And you know what? I personally don't believe that this idea is just so far-fetched. I think stuff like this will be discussed in the future. It'll just simply come in a different package, because they might be talking about, continuing subsidized homes and things like that. Me, I'm just removing all that extra welfare stuff and just putting it bluntly, hey, I want the check. The woman just come out here bluntly and say, I want the check. I went to high school, I got my diploma, give me the check.
Let's seriously entertain it. No, let's hear it. Sachs, I think Goldman Sachs or somebody projected that by like 2050, almost like 40% of women will be single and childless. And you play that out in 20 years from there, they'll be getting into retirement age. They don't have families. It'll be the first generation of women, especially at those numbers, without families, without retirement plans, without husbands, without anything. What the fuck are they gonna do with those women? It's gonna be millions of them.
Now that's not a far-fetched, thought there. Because look at it like this. My generation, Generation X, we are the first generation that cannot go to the cemetery and see mama and daddy laying next to each other. That's a phenomenon that is unique to Generation X. I can also say, I can see what you mean.
Hello.
It will be a phenomenon unique to that generation to come.
There you go. There you go. Y'all starting to come around. Y'all starting to see something.
Roger, hush, Roger. Ain't nobody talking to you because you didn't say that. I'm talking to Compassion and Callous. Don't even try and jump on his coattail. Sit down. Because
You know
all
what?
you
No,
talking
no,
about, Roger, all
Well,
you talking about, Roger, is that girl on the
the
picture right there.
I mean, the
Go ahead,
comparison
Black
with
Aruba.
South Korea, I mean, it's just a whole different political. You got a homogeneous society. It's much more easy for some whoever is on the top of everything to kind of dictate everything to a homogeneous group of people, and we'll see just how that goes. I mean, the other part about this thing is that, and we haven't mentioned, is we're almost in, the federal level alone, we're almost at 50 trillion in debt. And then there's probably, if you maybe put together all the states, you probably are doubling that, and municipalities, and then consumer debt. I mean, there's too much actual debt in the system to even make such a plan financially feasible. I mean, you essentially crash the economy. Certainly, inflation. If all of a sudden you're paying, 150 million people, what, 30, 28, or somewhere, the quick math, 26, $27,000 a year for no actual economic productive benefit. I mean, that would be economically calamitous to the country. Calamitous. And then you'll be giving it to people who are some of the most irresponsible people. So then you're facilitating them doing things that are going to be actually to the opposite benefit of the society. So, I mean, I just don't see any kind of social political scenario in which you would
yeah.
make that decision here in the United States of America.
I hear you, Uru, but past performance is a good indicator of future performance. This country ain't been doing shit for the last 30 years in the best interest of itself.
All right.
Rome failed. Rome failed just like if Rome didn't have a reasonable come to a reasonable economic strategy as they slipped into oblivion. They just kept spending into oblivion trying to solve the problem until their currency was worthless. That's essentially what happened. You right. If you was being, if social designers were reasonable and accountings like reasonable, smart accountants like yourself, they would probably stop now and probably do some more feasible, logical economic shit. But when if we did that?
I think that's a very good point, Compassion. But I want to get these super chats in and let Tunnel Runner get in here. But that's a very solid point, brother. Shout out to Officer Franz Schmitz. He says Pop-Tart money. And you know what? For the powers that be in America, they may look at giving women these checks every Monday. It's just some Pop-Tart money. We ain't gonna worry about it. They're gonna keep that economy flowing. We know they're gonna do that. They're gonna spend it. We know they're gonna do that. Shout out to Detroit 313. He says, I believe the children is the future. Tax. Okay. And that was not my Whitney Houston impression because he said is, not R. So this is that nigga on the corner, drink a little too much. I believe the children is the future. And you know what? The young lady
That was
will have the
you
future.
last night. That was you last night. You've
On
admitted it,
43rd.
and that on 43rd Street, that was you last night. That's how you came up with this nonsense here.
No, I just want y'all to know I had this one in store for a good little while, y'all. I done had this one for a minute. I'm just pulling it out today. That's all. I had this one for a good little minute. But turn around. You go ahead and get in there, brother. Go ahead and get in there. You on mute, turn around. You on mute.
But let me say this before Tunnel go. Look how the economy going now. They've laid off like hundreds of thousands of women all across the board. Like because the economy changing from the bullshit service economy to something that got to be more supply side based. And they ain't really got a spot in that. So as AI starts and continues to take more and more, it's really going to be a situation where it's not going to be an option if they want to work. Unless they want to be a carpenter and hop in the mud and start shoveling, it ain't, or really, get in the trenches with the robots and maintain the robots or do the tedious AI or tedious IT. systems management work, what are they? It ain't gonna be a lot of work for like what they're used to doing, selling blouses and shit. So what are we gonna? I mean, somebody you said it, Black Uru. Z and Z always repeats it. Somebody got to pay for these hoes. Somebody got to pay for them.
I
They're
mean,
gonna try to make us pay for them.
well, you got the mic turned around. Now. We tried
They're
to
gonna
get you
try to
in.
make us pay for them.
Well,
hundred
turn on,
percent.
get your opening statement in, brother, because I tried to give it to you a
And
minute ago.
this program, you hear if this program actually going on, there's some rich people who already do this program. They give their daughters $2,000 or more every month and have no restrictions on them. This is what some women are going through right now. But you have to have a rich father or a rich family to take care of that.
Well, if the
Yeah.
government to do it, daddy can keep his money now.
But and see, they have different results. A lot of the women who just getting money and don't have to have anything, they either they work or they just stay on that program until the money starts running out. Then they have to scramble and find something else. But this program that Roger has is a rich, mostly Caucasian situation where they just get money for nothing.
Well, we gonna spread it to everybody, man. We gonna spread it to everybody. You know, maybe we'll call it the Rich Daddy
I'll land
program.
right there.
We can call it the Rich Daddy program. 500 a week, do nothing.
I
500 a
mean,
week.
let's be real. If I was a plutocrat and I realized the economy don't rely on the middle class having money no more, that I'm gonna just sell to the top 20%. A good way to lock the majority of the population into a plutocracy for life is to just give the women a universal basic income across the board, and you got a giant gynocracy that'll maintain itself. And I could just keep
Yeah,
selling to the rich people.
but we got to push the idea. We just want a society that's comfortable where every woman will be taken care of. And I'm gonna say realistically, y'all,
Yeah, it'll slow down the revolution. It will definitely slow
what
down the revolution.
what
If you got the women getting some money for, not doing anything, it definitely won't have getting people uproar.
But I'm gonna just say real quickly, as a lot of y'all don't necessarily like this particular idea, I'm just gonna remind people that I do understand what black men be on from a majority standpoint. I ain't saying anybody listening at this moment would qualify, but realistically, the collective of black men want these women taken care of. And I'm simply suggesting something that would guarantee every woman in America would be taken care of. At least she has the opportunity to be taken care of. That's all I'm really suggesting at the end of the day. They medical stuff is dealt with. They get 500 a week to do what they want to do with it, and they have time to do what they want to do with the money. So now they got money and time. That's a very good combination to have. But let me let my main man, Landlord Sims, get into the picture. You got it, my brother.
Peace, fellas. Appreciate y'all for listening and not trying to kill Roger.
They trying to kill me.
I already sent my Falcon to his hood. Well, right now it's already flying on there. It's gonna be there, right? I was thinking, I was listening to it and I had to double back. I had to literally go all the way back to after you gave the shout outs and play it on 2.0 and caught back up. And I said, no, Roger's dead ass serious. No placeholder is not supposed to be letting you smoke. That's first of all. Because you don't know how to act. You see, this is ridiculous. And I want to say, like, Compassion made a point. I don't think the other races of people in America would vote for that to go in. Because are you just saying only black women get it?
No. This will be for women across the board. It'll be
crackers ain't having that. And then the second thing I was going to say is, if welfare killed the black community, what do you think Roger's idea will do to America?
It will be the epitome of white supremacy, brought to you by the Roger Report Live.
Mm-hmm. Roger's a white supremacist.
We ain't got to put my. First of all, we ain't gonna put my name on it. Second of all, Roger's not a politician that's gonna push this idea through. This is just a thought experiment.
And third of all, you keep talking this we nonsense. This is all you, brother. This is all you. We don't have to do nothing.
Yeah. But now it may now when I like after beating up on Roger, if you think about it, all right, they already get welfare, and welfare has them acting the way they do, but they don't get if you're giving them 500 a week, that's 1,500. Yeah, that's too much money, Roger. But no, because they still gonna have to pay rent, food. They not getting WIC. They not getting any of this stuff. Nah, Roger. Nah, it can't happen, Roger. Because I was gonna say it might be able to humble them because they're not getting no bread like that. Because they still got to do everything else. They got to buy their little amenities, lipstick, chapstick, tampon. You know what I'm saying? So all of that adds up. But you're still giving them free health care. And then my second question is, what about if a woman retires and she getting her pension? Does she still get the 500? She's not working and she never got on the system before. So that was the questions I had for you right there. Sorry.
Some people would smartly get away with a couple different things. Because if let's say you did retire and now you're on your pension, whatever. The rule would be you could only get on the program one time. Once you're off, you're off. So some smarter folk that's already near retirement, they'll basically be like, well, I'm 65, I'm retiring next month anyway. After I retire and set up my retirement account, my checks is coming in. Then I'm gonna go get on the program too because I'm not gonna work anymore. That'll just be an extra 500 for her.
Does Bruce Jenner qualify for this?
No. It would
I'm
be
so
for women
dead.
only.
I'm so dead. I'm so dead.
Well, legally, technically, yeah. I mean,
No. Y'all see what he did? He said, "Does Bruce Jenner qualify for it?" He didn't ask about
I forgot
what is it, Caitlyn something?
Caitlyn
Whatever.
He said, "I forgot the girl version."
Thanks for correcting me.
Yeah.
So Roger, if I'm understanding this, let me just make sure I'm understanding this because I'm very much about step one, step two, step three. I can follow a recipe, and I'm trying to see what this is you cooking. So now we got an 18-year-old young lady still living at home with her parents. She gonna get $500 a week, but she don't have to leave her parents' house. She can go to school, right?
She could.
And she still get this money while she going to school. Okay. Then you just created a way for this woman to actually opt out of getting it to say, you know what, I'm gonna go to school because I still don't want no man now. Still ain't gonna get no man, but I'm gonna strategically go to school, get a job, and make all of my money in my career. And then when I'm done with my career, I'm going to make these men give me $500 a week on top of my pension because I ain't never get into the program. Roger, you tried to really break us.
Roger is crazy.
No. Hold on, now.
Roger is crazy.
Hold on, now. Now she could do stuff the more regular way with people who ain't got money and take loans out and all that type of stuff. If she, you know what I'm saying?
You've just given her a reason not to do that.
I mean, school pretty expensive. I don't know if 500 a week gonna do it.
They won't give her a loan when she's getting $500 a week. They don't like you ain't never gonna be able to pay that off.
I mean, people give out college loans. The only issue is
get a regular loan, get a job, pay her loans off, make her career, make all her money, and then get on your program.
No. But this is the thing, Chef. You can only get on it one time.
She ain't been on it.
She ain't got on it.
But
she hadn't gotten on it.
Yeah, if she get a job, if she get on it before she gets a job, I mean, if she get a job after she's on the program, once that company say she's been employed for 30 days, it's over.
No, Roger. She's never gotten on it. Instead of getting on it at 18, she did like regular people do. She went out, got a loan, went to school, got a career, paid her loan back, made all of her money, and now she's 65 with her pension, her 401k, any investments that she done made along the way, and now she gonna make us pay her $500 a week because now she done got on Roger's program.
Yeah, this female Social Security, basically.
And you know what? A woman could do that. Now the question would be, what percentage of women would actually play it like that?
A lot
A
of them,
whole bunch of them because that's an incentive.
Mm-hmm. All she got to
That's
do
an
is get like,
incentive.
all she got to do is get 10 years in the company. Now she vested. You know what I mean? She gonna get a little bullshit. I mean, sorry about that cursing. A little BS pension coming in, probably like $700, $800. You know what I mean? And then on top of the fit off, and then she getting like halfway insurance. Then you giving premium insurance. Roger, you thought they tried to do Donald Trump in? Oh man. We're gonna have to hold heavy security for you.
Yeah, no, Rod, you should have just said it's a universal. The stipulation is basically a universal basic income for women, and what would happen to society? What would happen? And obviously, we outline, and probably it would be a giant gynocracy, basically.
Now, in my
Yeah.
world, compassion, I'll be making them pay extra taxes until they get married.
Now, I'm gonna say this too.
Mhm.
Now, the mentality of I could see some older women being smart enough to say, "Yeah, let me do this because they're gonna play the long game." I have a running joke that women don't think but about 4 minutes ahead. So, do I have a real concern that a lot of women would do what Chef Mike just explained? No, I think hardly no woman would do that because you would have to think years ahead instead of just 4 minutes. Am I going to depend upon women thinking about things years ahead? I would never put my money on that.
Is that $500 taxed?
No, it's $500 period. It's all you.
Roger, the economy can't hold that, bro. Like
That's what Black Uru was saying.
What I do believe, if once
The
you start,
economy ain't been able to hold
you
shit.
guys are throwing out real world economic considerations around this fantasy, and they can't exist together.
They cannot.
They can't exist together. If you're giving over 54% of the population 26 grand a year effectively, or 27 grand a year effectively, you don't have the same American economy. You have Venezuela or some shit.
You got Escape from New
So
York.
even the whole argument of it is just kind of wacky because you're destroying so much other stuff to affect this fantasy that it's kind of weird to have this conversation at a certain level. And I'm trying to see the political environment in which 150 million men sign off on this shit.
Okay, let me ask you this, Uru. What do you think? Because it's a fact right now that they project that by like 2050, 40% of women will be single and childless. What do you think the realistic economic strategy is gonna be to deal with, like 40% of your population being retirement age and like having to rely on the, Social Security? Because we can't afford that either. So how do you think they're gonna deal with that?
I think many of those people are going to have to consolidate their lives in with their families, and they're going to have to get married. I think that's a real solution to the issue. This shit of printing up an extra $3 or $4 trillion a year, that's not a solution. That's not a solution at all. That's not in any way a viable solution. If you already, listen to me, brother, if you already owe trillions and trillions and tens of trillions of dollars, just printing up an extra $3 or $4 trillion a year is not a solution. I don't give a damn how many women are unemployed. It's not a solution.
No, trust me, Uru. I'm saying you're right. I'm saying though we face a real life environment of having millions of single and childless women need to be cared for.
And I'm saying that most of those women most of those
Uh-huh.
women are going to have to check their ego at the door and go hat in hand to family and to men. That's what they're going
Okay,
to
let me
have to
ask you.
do. That's actually a much more viable solution. That's a much more
No,
viable solution than proposing paying these bitches $500 a week.
no, that's right. But see, the problem is what Roger just said. What incentive do the men have to marry women who are basically going to be a lot of women past their reproductive age? What's going to be the real incentive to even marry these
Well,
these
I
these broke
mean,
ass old bitches?
you know what? You know what? If you're willing to get on a man's program the way you need him to get on this program, these bitches can be very useful. They can be very useful if you can put them on your program. If you can put a woman on your program, she can be very useful. The issue is not that women don't have utility, even the older ones. The issue is, can you put her on your program?
And I guess that's the question. Can a woman that been single and childless for 40
Because,
years
okay, I got a
suddenly flip a
50-year-old
switch?
woman. I got a 50-year-old woman. She has worked some period of time and she's got a
Mm.
college education. I could do a lot with that woman. I could do a lot with that woman.
Ooh,
And,
Yeah,
and
but
this
you,
productive man can do something with that woman if she's on his program.
but
but
she not.
but what
She can't
the
bear children.
likelihood
That's
of
what
yeah
Passion is saying.
the likelihood of her bear I mean
No,
that's
no,
beside the
I'm
point.
saying
She ain't gonna bear children, but the likelihood
what
of
other choice will, listen to me, what other
uh-huh
choice will they have? If you're not giving
bridges
them free money, if you're not bailing them out, if you're not giving them snaps, all that shit,
yeah
what other choices will they have?
tent cities.
What
To
now?
survive, to eat and survive, they would have to get on your program. That's why I always say, to me, the critical issue really is the government and is the cops going to stay out of our business?
I
If the
hear you,
government
Uwu,
and the
but
cops are going to stay
the
out of our
question
business, you can fix a lot of stuff.
All
you're
right.
right, but the question still remains in that what is the incentive? Like the women say, what will
Okay.
be the incentive for the men?
Okay. Let me
Here,
hold on real quick,
here it is,
y'all.
Professor.
Well,
Hold
first of all,
fast.
The extra $500, I
do
guess.
those men have any kind of mission and vision for their line?
Hmm.
Are they trying to build some business? Are they trying to build some homes? Are they trying to build some communities? Because women can contribute to all that shit.
Yeah, but I'm gonna
If
say
they do what you tell them to do.
what in our community, those gonna be the very men that the sisters gonna be trying to avoid. Just being realistic. But
Well,
let me say,
they won't try to. Hey, she won't try to avoid him if she can't eat. She won't
okay,
try to avoid him if she's out on the streets.
okay, well let me get this in real quick. Shout out to Yogami, and I appreciate the 57-cent trailability tax, my brother. He says, who are getting taxed? Plus minus 26K fixed to pay them. Remember, if they on the program, this program is not gonna get taxed. This is 500 cash. This is there.
That means Negro. That means that you're paying 60% high end on your tax.
No, I know.
That means you're taking 40. You're taking home 40 cents on the dollar you earn to facilitate that.
Yes.
I was gonna say that it's gonna be on us as men because we want to provide a society. The selling point is gonna be want to
Go with
provide a
that
society.
That goes to my initial question. How is this supposed to? I mean, okay, how is this supposed to benefit men in society?
Okay, well, you know what? They will have the benefit of knowing that they have put a society together where the women are not going to suffer. Every woman who wants to be taken care of will be taken care of.
That's the incentive.
But the women are going to suffer because the society is going to collapse.
Hold on. Let's keep
women are going to suffer because if you do this, the society is going to collapse.
Hold on. Let's
Roger
keep,
then went blue pill.
Hold on. No. Hold on. I want us to be real about this. At the end of the day, that is what most men want. That's what most men want. Most men want these women taken care of no matter what happens. They are not willing to do this, just like this person said in the comment. Roger, you said you wouldn't give a homeless woman nothing, and I wouldn't, but I'm not most men. And most men ain't gonna not give her something. They're going in their pocket. That's what we want as men from a collective standpoint. So let's be real about this now. We
Okay,
as
now,
men,
but that don't even conform. That don't even conform to the reality we live in right now. Most black men don't have children. Most black men are not even married to these women. So a lot of people give vocal lip service to stuff that they themselves are not actually doing.
But no, Uru, but realistically, everybody on this panel, Uru, right now, all of our tax dollars are going to some women's empowerment program and have been for the last 20 years. Has it not through our taxes?
Yeah, but
And we
that is starting.
we
That
didn't
is
want that.
starting to unravel.
Yes,
That
it
is
is. It
starting
is.
to unravel. That's why we
I know
can't
I'm
get
not
a damn federal budget done every 3 months. That is
I'm not doubting
unraveling.
that.
We're moving
I'm
away
not
from
doubting
that.
it is changing, but what I'm saying is for the last 20 years, we men across the board been paying taxes just fine and not really complaining about the Black Girls Rocks programs that a percentage of those taxes have been going to for the last 20 years. So I wouldn't be surprised if niggas
And
would
it's
allow for
all
that another
going
20 years.
away.
okay.
Do you hear anything about Black Girl Magic right now? Do you hear anything about
Hmm?
Black Girl Rock right now? I don't. Not right
I
now.
hear you.
I Black girl
You're right.
hormones.
It's
I
not
have
right
black girl
now, but it
Okay.
hormones, bro.
has been.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rod. Go ahead.
Let me get these in real quick. Shout out to Mr. Me Too. He said, I think with the imagination issue, Roger's trying to remove all complaints women have in this society at a base level. And he said, I think this is like the immigration issue. Roger trying to remove all the complaints women have in this society. Now, what I'm doing is trying to get men to think about things from a realistic standpoint. Because I understand what I'm doing is a fairy tale right now. It's a fairy tale right now. Now, give it a decade or two, this may not be a fairy tale at all. You know?
We're gonna call it the down with the patriarchy bill.
Now,
That's
my
what it
thing is, I'm leaving it as a fairy tale, but I do think men need to think about these things from time to time. And shout out to my main man Afro Merchant for the super chat. He said somebody got to pay for these 304s, and it's Roger. Now, see,
Yep. Because that $2 that Afro Merchant just gave you, according to your program, you only gonna take home 25 cents.
Exactly.
Hey man,
We not okay with that. So this is your program. So stop saying we, stop saying our, stop saying us, say you.
y'all ain't gonna throw this on my back like this just because I'm the host
Oh
of the
no!
show.
Oh no! No, it is.
How
It
we
is.
throw your book bag on your back?
Yeah,
All they gotta do, look, all they gotta do to sell this program is have Barack come out again, like during the Kamala election, and tell us we scared of female empowerment and we need to support these women. And most black men would be right on board with this shit.
Man,
Trust me.
Obama
80%
jet
of them
skiing
would
on
be
a
right.
private island with white folks right now.
Okay, well, let me get this in case it's a new person.
The majority of black men did not vote at all in this election. The majority of registered black male voters did not vote at all in this presidential election. Barack Obama does not represent where black men are right now.
All right. Now let me get a flow to Rogers bankrupting the country. Y'all really doing me in today. Y'all, the Roger Report Live ain't just about Roger. That is not the best way to run the show, okay? But Roger bankrupting the country. Go ahead, my brother.
Bro, you almost got me in tears over here with this what if, man.
I knew it. Et tu, Brute.
You almost got me in tears.
That's all I'm gonna say to you, brother. Et tu, Brute. Et tu, Brute. Go ahead, though. Get your 2 minutes, brother. Get your 2 minutes.
All right, I'm about to put my 10-4 Koofy on here. If we gave them the right not to work, well, they would, insurance companies, we would get assassinated, man. They would use this $500 to take out the biggest insurance policy on every man possible. $3-4 million insurance policy. And they will organize together to take us out one by one. Like they gonna know who to take out. Roger, you taking away our nut checkers, so we ain't gonna have nobody do our hernia checks. We ain't gonna have no good salmon. There's gonna be a lot of high school pop-ups. We're gonna attend a lot of female events to try to find the one we want to spend that $500 on. Well, one thing, we probably have more money to start businesses, but the debt ceiling around the world gonna be going through the roof. A lot of women still won't pay their rent, and women will vote at 100% for anything that's supporting this program. I'll land my plane there. Some other ideas hit me. I think all these women gonna be going to church too. Thanks for having me up, Roger. Peace to y'all on the channel.
Well, you know what? I appreciate you doing that, brother. I definitely appreciate you doing that. And I'm gonna say this, y'all. Let's think about it. If somebody ain't paying their rent, you're gonna end up calling the man for the most part. A lot of women are gonna, it's gonna be a lot of women that's gonna move out of employment and get on this program. And then there'll be younger women who will never touch employment, at least for a good little while, because they got to figure out why they shouldn't be on this program. And you're gonna have young 18, 19-year-olds. They're gonna be so concerned with having fun. They're gonna just, the program is for me. They'll be telling you why they trying to graduate. I ain't worried about my grades. I'm finna get on the program. That's gonna happen. Now, the indirect thing that is start happening when you call the police, it's probably gonna be some men that show up. You probably won't really see too many women police officers, because now, why would I be a police officer when I can just get on this program? So it's gonna be mostly men doing everything. This is probably what the society is gonna start turning into. The women who are working, they're going to be older because they're going to be the ones who already had a job and never started life with the program being available to them. So there would be some comfortable things that happen amongst men. You'll probably have more men judges looking at what you're doing instead of seeing women judges. Over time, you're going to have more men basically doing everything. It's not going to be all bad. It's not going to be all bad. And Black Guru has told us multiple times that men pay more into the tax system anyway, and women take out much more in the tax system anyway. So guess what, y'all? Whether you've realized it or not, we already paying for. That's one of the secrets he solidified the first time I heard him say that. We already pay for. Now we can get rid of all these other programs to divert funds to this $500 a week that people would be asking to, when they sign up for this particular program. We're gonna be diverting funds from other places.
Roger, now that I'm hearing you talk, it would collapse because we've already ran this scenario. The last 60 years of feminism, we have already.
The problem with this is that you're kind of cutting and splicing shit to make this fantasy work. And anybody with any kind of socioeconomic training knows how just impossible all that is to do. If you really want to give women money, and I think somebody else alluded to, or if you wanted to help women, what you do is you would give that $500 to that man she married. If you really wanted to make things work, you give that $500 to that man that she married. You got a whole different socioeconomic result that comes from that. A very different. You have a much more stable environment. You have a much more efficient, familial and communal thing happening there, because people are now working together. They're putting resources together. They're putting homes together. They're raising children together. So if you made that $500 investment in that, you have a chance of creating some actual incremental benefit to society. But just giving it to women after what we've seen the last 60 years, that would be calamitous.
I see your sentiment of it would be no doubt more beneficial for men economically if we would figure out some way to incentivize women not to work. Now that'd be a different discussion.
Well,
Like you
that's
said,
easy.
like paying them might not make sense. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did not mean to cut you off, compassionately. I think it's a slight delay, so I do apologize for that, brother. But what I'm saying is this: this is the definition of winter. There are some harsh realities in winter. there are some dire consequences in winter. And for those that don't prepare for winter, they pay very steep prices. That may not feel good, may not sound good to somebody's ears, but that is reality. And that is incentive enough to get some act right.
Well, I mean, um, I do believe this is a good conversation for men to listen to, even if everybody just gonna blame Roger. And technically, I got to accept that blame
Yeah,
because I'm the host of the show. It is what it
I was
is.
gonna
It
say,
comes
nigga,
with
you
the
the host,
territory.
nigga.
yeah,
Yeah. So
I get your, I get the thought experiment. I'm just in the thought experiment. Should we talk about the actual, like, real
Yeah.
world consequence of it?
Feasibility. Right.
no, I think we
Yeah.
should. I think
Yes,
we should.
because it lets us know how much Roger really did have to drink last night. And it also
Well, smoke.
no, but
Smoke, right?
seriously, it allows us to show something. And this is something that's good coming out of it. It allows us to show that we as a panel of brothers can actually come together when we see one of our brothers going off the beaten path, going, out in left field. We can
Let's
actually
go.
gather around, speak logically, and pull that brother back in. And I know we're laughing about this particular subject, but that's a real, takeaway. If you don't take anything away, just know if anybody really was like out there, we could come together and really talk a person off the ledge, so to speak, or talk Roger from crashing the economy unknowingly. We just
No, I
know,
think
and see, this is where a good chief of staff comes in for politicians. This is where
Right.
we would
Right.
advise Roger, hey, you can't run for office because, no, sir, you can't talk like that. You gonna get us all shot. We gonna put landlord up there for the mayor, for the alderman. You can't do this, Roger. That's what a good staff. That's what good men around you do. They
I,
stop you from going off the rails.
good morning, brothers. I'm here to support Roger and amend his program with some details.
Whoa, whoa,
Would y'all give me the floor?
whoa.
Would y'all give me
Wait
the
a
floor?
minute.
Oh,
Wait a
here we
minute.
go.
Hold on.
some nigga that
First
Bust
of
busted
the
the
all,
bullshit.
courtroom.
who is this coming up
Oh,
and just starting to talk and just start talking? And Roger ain't even said nothing. We don't
I
know nothing.
mean, this one of my day ones, y'all. Now he a
I,
day one guy. Like I think he might have been on the very first channel. You know what I'm
oh,
saying?
yes,
Like he
sir.
a day
Yes,
one
sir.
for
Yes, sir.
real.
This is this
hey,
is this is surprise
hey,
witness, Chef Mike. He busted in the courtroom holding paperwork.
hey,
He
all
He
busted
hey,
in the
invented
all I
courtroom.
everything.
know is surprises or no surprises. No, man, I'm saying we have
He
decorum
busted in the
around
courtroom
here.
right during your
So my
closing statement,
apologies,
I'm
Chef
fellas.
Mike.
My
just
apologies.
saying. I
Well, you know what?
mean,
The way they doing me today, ain't no way in the world I'm gonna stop you.
I had to come through the window for my boy. I had to come through the window, man.
Yeah. Could you go ahead and please talk some sense into these brothers,
Now,
Reese? And I
I'm,
appreciate you being here, brother. I
oh, I
appreciate you
got you,
being
brother. I got you. I'm going to amend his program and add some more details. I'm going to call it the Golden Girl Initiative. That's what we're going to do.
here. I like
Whoa.
that. I
What
like
we
that.
gonna do? What we
That's
gonna
good.
do? We gonna take this $2,000 a month
That's
that
good.
Good Roger is proposing. Half of it would go to a housing voucher for possibly a roommate situation that possibly men could own houses for. A quarter of it will be allocated for health care, thus feeding Medicaid and Medicare, and the rest of it will be spending money for these good ladies. Now that'll take care of everybody 50 plus. And then it could be an example of where these women are going if they don't get their ish together and marry some man if they're under 50 or under
Hold on,
40.
pause, brother. Hold on, pause, brother. Our resident accountant. Them numbers. Does that sound like we balancing the budget a little bit, Uru?
We can move it around a little bit now. We can move it around.
We moving numbers around.
I mean,
Can he keep going?
look, one of the biggest problems with doing all this is the inflationary aspect of adding 3-4 extra $1 trillion of fiat current money to the system that's not backed by any actual economic benefit.
But Uru, come on now.
That's the fundamental issue with it.
You know economics. We Keynesian economists around here. Inflation is the name of the game, baby. We just inflated and kicked that can down the road. We let the next generation handle it. That's how we do it.
And it's catching up with us. That's why we got to go take over Venezuela and Greenland.
Hey, we got to kick that can down the road. How we got to kick it down the road now, baby? Come on, Keynesian economics.
Reese done
Inflation
came
is the
in here. Reese done came in through the window and threw us up against the wall.
Yeah, I did a roll with it too. Now I rolled with it. I popped up. I put a housing voucher on the table, and I
Oh
also
my
did a voucher for
goodness.
healthcare. I did it all, y'all. Did it all. Now we just got to work the numbers into to the point the brother made. We gonna kick this thing down the road and figure that out later.
Exactly. They can take over another country in the future. They can take over,
I mean,
the
we got
people,
the
next
minerals in
generation.
Greenland. Now ignore all the billions of dollars it's gonna take to get all the resources out of them things. Ignore all that. Ignore all that. Let's just, and then we just got to set it up in poor neighborhoods so the young ladies can see where their futures could be if they don't get their act right. This is the Golden Girl Initiative. I endorse Roger for the next president.
We making this move and we taking all this risk just so we think the women will feel happy.
That's what I'm
what
talking
we're
about.
doing. We're not doing it for any real economic benefit. We're not doing it for any real sociological benefit or cultural benefit or future of America and human beings benefited. We're taking all these risks just so women will possibly feel happy about themselves temporarily.
But
that's why we're doing it.
But as a country, ain't that what we've been doing?
I was gonna say you just named the last 20 years.
Yeah, ain't that what we've been doing?
Uru.
We've
been doing all our
I'm
economic
saying we're gonna do that again times 10. We're gonna make that decision and do that again times 10.
Man, Uru, we gonna be retired when the young folk got to deal with this. We'll be retired already.
Well, I'm gonna be dead. So when the whole thing falls through, I don't really care.
We gonna let AI handle it. We gonna kick this can down the road.
I do want to brainstorm with the brothers on the housing initiative.
AI has already taken over this stream. We do not need them taking over this idea. They done already took over this stream. We got AI Roger and AI Reese as his surprise witness.
I and Roger will be doing think tanks in Chicago around owning houses for the Golden Girl Initiative. Brothers with skill sets in blue collar trade, HVAC are encouraged to come. We gonna own these neighborhoods where we gonna put these old ladies.
I stand behind the Golden Girls initiative.
I ain't gonna lie.
Listen, I'm sticking by my guns, and I'm saying if you really want to make a difference, take that same $500, give it to the man, and then listen, y'all get on my program. Yeah, if you up in age, I can use you. I can actually make use of you, and it does not have to be in the capacity of making a family. I already got a family. But now, don't fool around and let me get a whole staff.
No, brother, brother, we gonna do both. The program is designated for 50 plus. Everybody under 50 is gonna look at them and do what you said.
Yeah, brother, we doing both of them. Both of them.
Roger, sit in the corner. Roger, sit in the corner over there, please.
Hey, man. BOFUM. Both of them.
Now, why are we doing it for women 50 plus?
We need to make examples of those women so the younger women can see their futures if they don't get married.
No, that's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen?
Why are we trying to help? Why are we trying to help women who have failed and have contributed to the problem?
Exactly.
How are they going to benefit educating future generations of women?
Uru, you started from the false premise that we trying to do something for the betterment of the U.S. society. We trying to keep this thing going as long as we can and keep this system running. And the women, 50% of the population.
Keep what thing going? How are you keeping it going when the resources are literally not there? Only thing you're doing is accelerating the demise of the society. That's the only thing you're doing.
Black Hole, let me talk to you about my
How are you
Dave
keeping
Chappelle,
anything going?
a Dave Chappelle skit voice. Hey, this America, baby. We got this.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about that, Black Hole. We got this.
You worried about
You
sustainability, Uru. We're not worried about sustainability.
wow.
This
Okay.
is a
We
Capacity and
worried about
callus.
the next 4 minutes. Just like
All
we
right,
were.
You
all right.
Well, now y'all
I'm out.
hold on real quick,
I'm
cause
out at that point.
wait, hold on, Roger. You
y'all hold
capacity
on.
and callus, you and Roger sound like George Bush and Donald Rumsfeld.
Hey man, George Bush was a president. I'm in good company, okay?
We cannot confirm
Hmm.
or deny we're using their playbooks for this plan. We cannot confirm or deny.
Yeah.
And
what
there's Oliver North.
yeah, it's an element of
Well,
Reaganomics
y'all
in this
hold
plan.
fast for
Y'all
1 second.
presenting.
Cause Inspired Trooper said he ain't had a chance to say nothing. So let him get the mic. Let me touch the mic. We might do a slight bit of overtime at this point, because I want Inspired Troop to get in, and I want to go right back to Reese so he can really say what he's been trying to say. But y'all don't want to hear what he got to say because it might make too much sense. And I know y'all doing it on purpose. I ain't slow.
Roger,
Go ahead,
pass the mic.
Inspired Troop.
All right, all right. Am I coming in clear? Can y'all hear me well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Peace to you, Raj. Peace to the chat, and peace to the brothers on the panel. So first off, um, I don't know if I missed it some type of way, but I think we all missed out on women's capability for ingratitude and lack of being content. Like one way or another, they are going to find a way to take that inch and go a mile with it, as they always do. Oh, this little $500 isn't anything. What we need is $1,500. Is 26,000 a year actually a living wage for real? No, it's not really a living wage. We need more. So it's going to keep on going. Like it's not going to stop. It's going to go further. And like in terms of sustainability, I mean, I can't really say that we ever really were born, starting off on a great sustainable track to begin with. Everything was fractional based lending anyhow. And like where things are now is just the natural progression of where it was going to go. Everything was going to go into inflation, into oblivion, and on
Facts.
into paper not reflecting what reality and real resources are. Like money is not real. It's a social construct. Always was. Always will be. You'll just move on to a different paradigm.
Well, aren't we good men if women don't have to worry about the fact that they don't have to worry about anything financial because they're getting a free check? It doesn't have to be a living wage because it's not an actual wage. It's just a gift every Monday to show up in your bank account.
They
Who
ain't
gonna
gonna be happy
complain
about
about
that.
the free money?
They
They
will.
will.
They will.
They will. Roger, are you listening to another brother trying to come up and talk some sense into this harebrained
No,
scenario you talking?
look, man. See,
Yeah.
They
sometimes
women listen, hold on, wait, Roger. Women say now
I mean, the
that men
history
have to
of
come with
women
six
is
figures.
one entitlement begets another entitlement begets another entitlement. And
Exactly.
their mentality is such as the more you give them, the more they demand to receive.
So why do y'all think we started with $500? We leaving room for the negotiation to inflate
see
because it's gonna inflate.
y'all act
What
like the
what
people that
to
was on
pay
the
them $2,000 a week?
see
At some point.
Well,
Is
half
that
of that
what
be
we
a housing voucher
negotiating up to?
see
for a nice room.
this the problem. You niggas that be walking that yellow brick road, y'all always looking at that nigga behind the curtain. Pay attention to the big show. Pay attention
No,
to the big
No,
show.
man.
y'all. No, you
We
know what's
not
happening.
even on the yellow brick
No,
road.
you know
We
what's
on the
happening, Rod.
red brick road because it was a red brick road right there in Munchkin land that if Dorothy would have went down,
Right.
probably wouldn't have had no
No,
problems. We
you
on the
know what?
red brick
You know where
road,
we making it.
Roger.
You know where they making a mistake, Raj. Is black men make the mistake of imagining white men ever set up sustainable systems in the first place. See, in a lot of ways, we think white man's ice is colder inherently. We figure if they set up this massive complex system, it has to be making sense. It has to be built for sustainability. They weren't just robbing the shit from the beginning. But when they actually were, there was never no, like you said, fractional based lending. We took ourselves off the gold standard. Are you fucking kidding me? Like there is no scenario of a sustainable, fair, equitable system that perpetuates the growth for the betterment of society in America, because that ain't never what the
there,
purpose of this shit was.
there's a way to get to that, but truth be told, most people don't want to deal with the consequences of going back to in that direction. Most of
Well,
us
look,
don't want to, because it'll be some people starving out there in the
Look,
street.
I mean, you're right. You're right in an absolute sense, but everything's relative. Everything's relative. You're right. It's all a pyramid scheme, but to some degree, there are various degrees of actual productivity. There are varying degrees of actually producing something versus not producing something. And doing some work to generate $500 has a very different socio-economic effect than doing shit for $500.
All
So
right,
you
let me
can't
get
be that
MRS.
absolute about it.
Let me get MRS super chat in. Shout out to you, brother. And he's regarding Inspired Truth. He said Inspired Truth is talking about their ability to exaggerate. Pay attention. And I'm going to agree, yes, whatever you give them, automatically it won't be enough because you gave it to them. I don't care if you gave them $5 million a week. It wouldn't be enough for them because you gave it to them. Eventually they're gonna want higher numbers. That is a true thing. But that don't mean we have to respond to that anytime soon. We don't have to. Because once you stuck, a lot of times people ain't gonna fight that much to not be stuck. If we say, look, you complain about this, we just gonna take you off the program, they gonna shut up. That's gonna be an easy fix. It's gonna be a very easy fix. But Reese, did you have more to present? Because I want to make sure you got your idea out there so they can understand.
What I want to do when I want to put this on the table for everybody to chew on, I want to talk about to $2,000 a month. Half of it would be $1,000 housing venture. Now, fellas, keep in mind this is $1,000 a room in our room and house for the Golden Girl initiatives. We all can make early investments. We can modify these houses. We can put 4 women, 5 women to a house, $5K a month. That's easy money, y'all. Easy money on these vouchers that I'm proposing for the Golden Girl initiative.
Dorm room for adults.
There
Yep.
you go. There you go.
And I can make $60K a year off that. That
Yes,
sounds
sir.
reasonable.
Yes,
Per
house. Per
So
house.
now we want to have a society of sorority houses.
50 plus, baby. 50 plus.
You're not gonna get the Golden Girls.
You know
You're
what?
gonna get Jack Sparrow and the Pirates of the Caribbean. They not gonna be Blanche and
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. Who owns virtually all of the legalized marijuana places? Do black men own any of those legalized marijuana?
No.
Only a couple.
We could.
Only a couple do though.
See, it's one thing. No, we can't. No, we can't. They've effectively created systems that make it virtually impossible for you to own. From a licensing standpoint, from a economies of scale standpoint, etc. So it's virtually impossible. Now, my point is this: yeah, you can legalize that voucher shit. Who gonna end up owning all those voucher houses? They won't be black men, I guarantee you.
Okay. Now that's a point. That's a legitimate point to consider. That's a good point to consider now.
We got a negative Nancy here. Goddamn, Uru. What the fuck?
I mean, the brother is an accountant. He gonna keep it real. So he gonna look at the numbers, not the wishful thinking of you Negroes.
Oh, all right. So yeah, but this idea, I guess it's a little challenge of an idea. I thought this would be an interesting show though. Once I put it out, I really thought it would be a very interesting thing to visualize. But I am gonna say, if we don't think about things like this on a for real level, this could possibly be our future. You know, it may be a little bit different, but this is a possible future. You know, y'all seen movies and television shows. This is a possible future, not necessarily a future we will get, but it's a possible future if we don't make some better decisions. And I'm gonna say, yes, you're never gonna give the women enough, because if they don't have to work for it, they not built to have enough when they don't work for it. But if you tell a woman, if you file a true complaint about it, we'll take you off the program, that will stop them from making a complaint. So you can do that. You know, you're not working, so it ain't like we got to consider you like we consider other people. Now I got somebody who just came backstage. Are you coming for the after show or are you coming to make a statement? Because if you need to come to make a statement, I need to know. And if y'all coming for the after show, y'all can chill for right now because we'll do at least an extra maybe 30 minutes depending upon how this conversation goes. But y'all, I'm just trying to present this as so reasonable men can think about how our future might go if we don't get stuff in order. And I know some people do think Roger mean, because I will tell you, I am 100% okay with walking past women who are struggling in the streets, who seem desperate or whatever the case is. I'm not going to take any money out of my pocket to give to any strange women in the street. I'm done. If I help a person, it will be a man. I'm not going in my pocket to help no woman at this point. Just not.
Let me say this real quick, just to bring a serious note. It is something we're gonna have to grapple with. It is true that we going into a future where like at least half of women will not have families. They'll be kinless, as they describe. So there will be, and they live until 80. And most of the retirement homes are full state funded. Retirement homes are full of women. So it's something we're really gonna have to grapple with. It's gonna be probably more taxation in the very near future. There's gonna be a large swath of the population of women that are gonna live totally different than any generation of women ever. Cause we're gonna have a problem we've never been confronted with, which is millions of kinless women. That is gonna be something we have to grapple with for real, for real.
I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be that way because
Let me say this
I
right
know we
quick.
go to.
Before y'all go crazy. Can I be heard?
Yeah, we hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear
Before
you.
y'all go crazy with it. I hear you saying that we gonna have an issue with women who don't have any children and things like that to take care of them, so they're gonna be they gonna be our responsibility. I'm proposing that we change the state funding retirement program. We put it on a merit basis. If a woman didn't have her three children, she doesn't get state sponsored retirement. You didn't have any children, so you don't. I hope you got money save up for yourself, but the government is not supposed to fund your retirement because you didn't do anything for society other than being antagonistic to men. Show your behind. You were on some niggas and shit time. Oh well, the government doesn't have anything for you.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's not have too many different thought experiments going on at the same time. You know what? Discuss that with me after the show. Maybe we'll make a show with some of that ideal in it, because that could be interesting too. Now, and shout out to the great Black Reset. He said he coming in for a landing. Is Roger still tripping? I was never tripping in the first place, brother. I was never tripping in the first place. I hope you had a good flight, but I was never tripping in the first place. I'm just trying to, it may not be as bad as a lot of guys think it will automatically be just because the women have this certain level of autonomy. You're only getting $500 a week, which I'm not saying is too low, but I'm also saying it's not too high because you're not working for it. It's enough to get you a place. And a lot of funds can be diverted by stuff that's in place to help women out. We don't need those programs anymore because there's no thought process that she's going to have to work in a society at all. She does not have to. She is no longer oppressed, as women say. She don't have to work in no man's kitchen, and she ain't got to take no man's job. Heck, she can use $500 a month if she wanted to create a business for herself, and then she could lose her $500 after her business is already created. She'll have options. It's not like she's not a thinking person. And if she listened to her father, maybe he'll give us some good ideas. She will have a choice to be taken care of. And we'll be able to brag around the rest of the world that in America, all the women are taken care of as long as they want to be. I think that put us in a good light as a country.
The previous comments have been brought to you by AI Roger Report. These are not the thoughts or experiences or intentions of any of the panelists, save one or two of the brothers that be tripping and not going anywhere. Roger said he's not tripping, but Roger is tripping and ain't moved yet. Yes, Great Black Reset, Roger is still tripping. Even though we're coming up on the 3 hour mark and he should be closing out the show. See, since Roger gave me the ability to actually cut the show off where we get to the 3 hour mark, at this point, Roger, I think we should hear your closing statement, my friend.
That's what we doing, huh? That's how we do. That's what we doing. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, hey, man, I put something out there, though. I do think men need to have some serious thought about what our future is going to look like. And, I actually hope some of y'all will send this to one of your blue pill friends who ain't quite caught on about what's going on with government, how they do stuff, and what little Mickeys they trying to. I think men need to understand that the politicians have an idea that they're going to use women to continue to crush men. And it's going to kind of pan out the way it's been said up here. You're going to have men going to work and 60% of their funds are going to be being taken and women going to be on some form of program. Because we're not going to, as long as men are operating as we're operating, we are not going to let them starve. Because we don't want the marketing of American women starving. We don't want American children being bad off. We want them in shelters. That's why we got so many shelters for women and children. That's what we as men want from a collective standpoint. I'm saying at some point in time, you better want something different. Now, I don't want them to starve, but if they got to, so I'll be okay, I can live with that. And that's real talk. If women got to starve, so I'll be okay. Now, I'm saying I'm still be responsible, make good decisions for myself. If I have the opportunity to do that, so do they. I think we cool. They ain't got to be okay. I can live with them not being okay. Because this America, baby. It's America. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Thank you to everybody who joined in. It's been wonderful. Long live the Habitual Line Steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.
Yeah, yeah.